as skipper. You've got Tim Anderson leading off once again. He has been a tough out in this series. Luis Robert Jr. is in center field. Andrew Benintendi bats third and plays left. Eloy Jimenez, a couple of RBI doubles in last night's game. He'll be the DH. Yohan Moncada, he'll play third base. He's off to a hot start as well. Andrew Vaughn over at first base. Oscar Colas is in right field. Elvis Andrus, one hit away from 2,000. He'll play second base and bat eighth. And Sebi Zavala will get his first start of 2023. Astros starting defense is presented by Xfinity. Corey Julks will see his first action in the field after DHing in his Major League debut yesterday. He has Chas McCormick to his left and center. And in right field, it is Kyle Tucker. He picked up his gold glove before the game. So did Jeremy Pena on the infield, along with Alex Bregman, David Hensley, and Jose Abreu. Behind the plate, Yainer Diaz makes his first start of 2023. Glad he could join us for our first afternoon broadcast of the year. Blummer mentioned Jose Urquidy usually pitches well during the day. Urquidy in his 9th overall professional season, his 5th at the big league level. And we are ready to go with Tim Anderson digging in. Anderson's been on base 6 times already in this series with 4 hits and a couple of walks, and make it 7 as he lines the first pitch he sees right past Jose Urquidy and into center field. Tim Anderson off to a hot start this year.
Talked about Urquidy being aggressive with that fastball. He will throw it early and often. We'll see on our MD Anderson strike zone. That is a pitch well out over the plate. And as well as Tim Anderson has started the season in the first 2 games, not a real shock that he gets a base hit in that first at bat.
Astros will have to watch Anderson. He stole a base in last night's game after being a perfect 13 for 13 last season. Here's Luis Robert Jr. taking the first pitch strike from Jose Urquidy. Robert Jr. 3 for 9, has struck out 5 times in the first 2 games, struck out 4 times in last night's game. Christian Javier really gave him trouble. And now the slider gets him waving and missing. It's 0-2.
Good pitch. Urquidy's going to need to have that good slider or sweeper. We'll try and figure that out throughout the course of the season. But if he has that good slider working, that'll be highly effective against some of these right-handed bats.
Now we've got the new term this year, huh?
Yeah, it's popping up everywhere. It's on StatCast now.
Some pitchers continue to have a pitch that they call a slider, but others with a little more of a sweeping motion are being called a sweeper. Anderson a pretty big lead at first, and Urquidy misses with that slider. It's 1-2.
Yeah, highly technical terms these days.
Well, as we mentioned in spring training when we saw Jose Urquidy, there is one starter that will not be impacted at all by the pitch clock. In fact, he may gain an advantage, and that's Urquidy, because he works as quick as anybody in the league, and he feels like it's the hitters now who are at the disadvantage because they're going to have to be ready at his tempo as opposed to him having to wait them out occasionally.
Yeah, Urquidy was the one guy when these rules were announced that finally the game is coming to him.
Just when we said that, Urquidy went all the way down to 0 on the pitch clock before he attempted a throw to first. So now Tim Anderson has the benefit of knowing that there's been 2 disengagements in this plate appearance. So any other pickoff attempt, it's either a balk or Anderson has to be picked off. So he gets a huge lead, doesn't go, and the pitch is up and in, 2-2.
This might be a good time to test it right here.
Anderson talking with longtime first base coach Darryl Boston. Debo back in there in the first base coach's box for the White Sox. And he is getting out to a walking lead, and there he goes. This ball sent into center field. Anderson slides. He doesn't know where the ball is. Chas has a chance to double him up, but the throw is not quite in time. Great deke in the middle of the diamond. Anderson had no idea where the ball was, and the Astros almost picked up a double play on that flyout.
Yeah, if that fly ball was a little more to right center, Chas would have had a better chance, but being a left-handed thrower, he had to come back across his body. But a real good deke up the middle, and that's those are things you can't teach. You kind of mention it, but you have to have that instinctual reaction that says, I'm going to go over there and deke a double play. And usually how it works is whoever's covering on the steal kind of just puts their hands up like they're going to receive a throw, and it throws the base runner off.
You did that a time or two.
Oh, man, it was great. And when you burned somebody on it, you made sure that you reminded them about it as often as you possibly could. Or tell them you got some oceanfront property in Arizona if they're looking to buy, too.
Anderson has probably turned that trick himself as a shortstop on a few players, but that time he was the one that was fooled momentarily, but his speed was able to get back just in time to not get doubled up. Andrew Benintendi, the batter. Benintendi with an 0-1 count. Andrew signing a deal with the White Sox this offseason. Fouls one at the plate. It's 0-2. Jose Urquidy making his first start of the regular season. Urquidy, like last night's starter for the White Sox, Lance Lynn, pitched in the WBC and both picked up wins against Canada. Lance Lynn for Team USA, Urquidy for Team Mexico. That is the second disengagement of this at-bat. So Anderson has the same setup he had last batter, where he knows Urquidy has already used up his 2 disengagements. Last time he got a walking lead, this time not quite as big a lead. As Urquidy misses up for ball 1. So Urquidy testing out the old pickoff rule early on.
He is.
He's not afraid to go to the wall with those 2 pickoff attempts if he has to. Now Anderson starting to lengthen his lead a little bit. In the dirt. Good stop by Yainer Diaz.
Just trying to think along with some of these players. I thought that would have been a great opportunity, 1-2. Clock was winding down to that 3 second range, and you just saw an elevated fastball 0-2, so that usually tells you that there might be an off-speed pitch in that 1-2 count.
You look at our AT&T logo at the bottom right portion of your screen, you'll see your 6-5. Now Anderson can almost time this out. Swing and a miss. He pulled the string on Benintendi as Jose Urquidy picks up a strikeout for out number 2.
That's that good changeup for Urquidy. He makes him very effective against left-handed hitters, and our matches from Supermo is going to show you that grip and the release point. The arm action looks like a fastball, but that changeup just never gets to the plate. See Benintendi really upset that he did not stay back on that pitch.
Now Urquidy facing Eloy Jimenez. And again, the clock winds down on Jose, but he knows it's got that internal rhythm going. He misses outside for a ball. The one thing I do notice, though, all the pitch clocks are not necessarily in the visual eye line of the runner at first base. Anderson's looking at Urquidy, and the clocks are behind home plate and in center field. So Anderson might not have the benefit of knowing when that clock is winding down unless he somehow sneaks a peek.
It's actually a really good point, because it has to be in that line of sight, because both clocks in center field are obviously in the line of sight of the hitters. There's 2 behind home plate, but there's nothing behind that pitcher down the third base line that Tim Anderson can kind of peek at.
Little tapper. Urquidy's going to have to make the play himself. He's on it in a hurry and throws a strike to Jose Abreu. And that gets through the inning. An initial hit, 1 man left on base. Astros turn to bat after a scoreless top half. It'll be Jeremy Pena, Alex Bregman, and the big man, Yordan Alvarez. Back at the top, followed by Alex Bregman. Yordan Alvarez hits third. Jose Abreu in the cleanup spot, then Kyle Tucker. Chas McCormick gets his first start of the season. David Hensley, Yainer Diaz, and Corey Julks round out your Astros lineup.
It's going to be veteran right-hander Lucas Giolito. He wears the number 27 on his back, and he also needs 27 more strikeouts this season to reach 900. Last season, not one of his better. 30 starts, had a 4.90 ERA, did rack up 177 strikeouts.
First pitch swinging is Jeremy Pena as he fouls one back. Pena has faced Giolito a couple of times, has a double against him. Jeremy very aggressive out of the gates, similar to when Jose Altuve leads off, swinging at that first pitch. Altuve loves to ambush at any point of the game, and especially in that first at bat, as the Astros have had some success against Giolito lately.
Last 2 starts for Giolito in 2022 against the Astros led to a large ERA. And off to a great start again with Pena getting that base hit.
Pena fights it off the other way down the right field line. That'll work for an opening base hit for Jeremy Pena, just like in the home opener. He starts the game with a single for the Astros.
Here's a look at today's Sonic matchup. This will show you the last 3 starts, 12 1/3, that inflated ERA at 13.86. But before that, he was extremely good coming over to the Chicago White Sox from that Washington Nationals ball club, and he came out electric with that fastball in the mid to upper 90s and carried a 1.07 ERA before the Astros could figure him out.
Alex Bregman goes after that first pitch and swings through it. 0-1. Bregman generally likes turning the calendar pages as the season goes along. He gets hotter as the year goes along. And a guy who celebrates his birthday in March, just turned 29 on Thursday, hates the month of March. April is not exactly astounding in terms of numbers for Alex, but March is definitely not his month at all. Just 2 for 33, has not had a hit yet this season. Did score a run in last night's game, but was 0 for 7 in his first 2 games, so he's happy to turn that calendar page. And Alex generally heats up with the weather. We'll see if he can get off to a hot start one of these seasons. He's down in the count here, 0-2. Swing and a miss. Bregman goes down on 3 pitches. Giolito picks up his first strikeout, 1 away in the inning. Well, Blummer, before the game, we saw some hardware being handed out. Silver Sluggers to Jose Altuve and Yordan Alvarez.
Not shocking, both very good hitters. We saw Altuve finish and get those numbers up to a 900 OPS. I love the fact that you saw the hitting coaches out there with them, and then of course a couple of gold gloves going these guys' ways too.
Jeremy Pena and Kyle Tucker. Pena becoming the first rookie shortstop ever to win a gold glove. And then Tucker with his outstanding play in right field last night, showing why he could be a back-to-back gold glover. Got a pickoff attempt over at first base, and Pena gets back. Astros had the gold glover and platinum glove winner the year before with Carlos Correa. He goes to Minnesota, and then Jeremy Pena steps in and wins a gold glove the very next year. Number one, you need the quality athletes to be able to accomplish that. But number two, you mentioned the hitting coaches being out there for the Silver Slugger. There's a lot of work from Joe Espada and others that helped make Carlos Correa Platinum Glove winner and Jeremy Pena a Gold Glover in his first year.
Yeah, when you have things happen like that, it is a credit to the ball player, but it's also a credit to Joe Espada, Alex Cintron, Troy Snicker. Those guys work extremely hard to make sure that they are prepared. Joe Espada had some extra work knowing that when Jose Altuve went down with the injury that he was going to have to prepare Dubon and Hensley to play second base a little bit more often than maybe they anticipated. So there's some relentless work ethic both on the field and in that dugout, and it usually pays off with wins. And then once you go out there and win, you start to get the individual accolades.
Yordan off the end of the bat, but that's going to work. Last year, Yordan was shifted 88% of the time, and that would have been potentially a double play ground ball.
That is the first thing I thought when I saw that ball off the bat of Yordan. Because that's typically a position where Tim Anderson might be pulled over on that second base side against this shift, and he might have the chance to lay out for this baseball. It wasn't hit exactly hard off the end of the bat. That's that good changeup from Lucas Giolito that just kind of maneuvers that one through the empty space because there's nobody on the right side of Andrews on that side of the bag.
88.1% of the time Yordan was shifted last year, 17th most in all of baseball. Only Kyle Tucker shifted more on the Astros, and here's Jose Abreu. Abreu, even when the shift was in place, was hardly ever shifted against. Number one, righties don't get shifted as much, and number two, as you can see, he sprays the ball up the middle and to the right side occasionally, so you have to stay honest on that right side of the infield. That went off the plate, 1-1.
Well, he's a true hitter to begin with, and then you add the possibility of having these runners in scoring position a lot when he comes to the plate in this Astros uniform. And usually very good RBI hitters have a tendency to use the big part of the field up the middle.
Abreu swings and misses. Still looking for that first RBI in an Astros uniform. The 9-year member of the Chicago White Sox. So far has started out 2 for 7 on the season. He's hit the ball hard 3 times, over 100 miles an hour, 3 different ABs of his first 7. Doesn't even go after that pitch. It's 2-2.
Looks like he's kind of hunting that fastball from Lucas Giolito. Chased that fastball up out of the zone. That one right there kind of gave it a look. Was able to hold back.
Only Nolan Arenado with more runs batted in since Abreu joined the league in 2014. That one down, and the count runs full. Good AB here.
Yeah, you have ABs like this, and you fit right into the Astros program.
Pre-game, Abreu was having a chat with 5 of his former teammates out in center field before the first pitch.
Can't blame him.
Still good friends with a lot of these guys that wear the gray and black of the Chicago White Sox. 3-2 pitch is fouled back to our right.
Well, you kind of feel like the White Sox gravitated towards Abreu, even though he was wearing that Astros uniform. So they might miss him a little bit as much as he possibly misses being in that White Sox uniform.
That's a lot of years to be in a clubhouse. 9 years, 1,270 games. Now Abreu calls time as Giolito was ready to go and Jose was not ready. That's his one allotted timeout. So now Giolito, if he chooses, can manipulate the clock a little bit. We saw Scherzer do this, where Scherzer got into the stretch and just sat there in spring training. Does hesitate for an extra beat, and Abreu goes down on strikes. So Giolito has picked up a couple of strikeouts.
Coming up is Kyle Tucker. We've got some StatCast. Here's some bat pass. StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud, showing you that he barreled it up as he dropped the hammer on that down and in pitch and went into launch mode, driving it to center field. A very good swing. So far, the farthest home run hit in the major leagues here through the first couple of games at 437 feet.
And we saw a little bit of everything in Kyle Tucker's game yesterday. He scored a couple of runs, including a stolen base. This ball ripped but foul down the first baseline. We saw him hit that ball out 437 feet. We also saw him make a great defensive play, the best defensive play of the night, to help Seth Martinez pick up a victory in the 7th inning. Tucker has that complete game. He might be...
Did it all last night.
He did it all in one game. He showed off every aspect of his game. Now today, batting for the first time with 2 runners on and 2 outs. That is going to be a time violation, and that'll be a 1-1 count. The fans cheer. They're excited about seeing their first time violation.
Something new
on the pitcher. That's the first one I think we've had in this season between the White Sox and the Astros.
I believe you are correct.
It is now 1-1 the count due to the time violation on Lucas Giolito. Tucker holds up on a pitch down and in, 2-1. The umpires, while the clock is in their visual in center field, they're focused on home plate. So they have a buzzer that will go off when the clock hits 0 to let them know the time has expired. As Tucker fouls one away. Tucker is the one guy who takes more time than anybody for the Astros in between each pitch. He always goes down for that dirt without the batting gloves. He's always looking at the clock, though, knowing he has to re-engage with 8 seconds. It helps him when there's runners on because he gets the additional 5 seconds. Down and in, 3-2. Tucker's taken some close pitches in this series. He's already drawn 3 walks, including one last night where he came around to score. Pena will get a head start off second. Jordan will be off of first on this 3-2 pitch with 2 outs. Ground ball right side, that's going to sneak through. Pena will score easily. Kyle Tucker, an RBI single. Astros on the board first, 1-0.
Well, if you need any more evidence that the shift is going to help out some of these left-handed hitters, you saw 2 very good examples in this first inning. Jordan going up the middle. Kyle Tucker pulling this one. That's that changeup. Gets a little bit out in front. Has to get that barrel out there and hook it into right field. But Andrews trying to cover a lot of ground out there, unable to do it. And Tucker takes advantage of the shift not being implemented anymore. Pena scores easily to get things going.
Not surprisingly, last year the White Sox shifted Tucker more than anybody else on the Astros. And that's a play where the second baseman, you're right, Blummer, would have probably been there in that hole. Now Chas McCormick bloops one into right. That's going to be down for a hit. Chas on his first swing of the season knocks in a run on a little bloop hit to right. It's 2-0 Astros.
TK. Those are delicious. Little drop shot for an RBI. Chas gets blown up on that inner corner, but was able to fight it off and keep it in front of Colas out there in right field. Off contact, you're going, man, my thumb's hurt. About halfway to first base when you see that ball drop, all of a sudden the blood returns to your hands and everything's good.
Lucas Giolito is going to get a mound visit here. He probably feels like, number one, he thought he made a good pitch on Yordan Alvarez that snuck its way into the outfield. And then Kyle Tucker hit a ground ball that just happened to find its way between first and second. Again, both those guys might be out with the shift of last year. More than likely are out. And instead, here we are looking at a 2-0 game after the little flare by Chas McCormick. Now a word from Fubo TV.
Watch AT&T Sportsnet with Fubo TV. Try free.
No, I think you're right, TK. Some of those new rules having been implemented really benefiting the two left-handed hitters who have been shifted on frequently. But Giolito, you saw the pitching coach, Ethan Katz, coming out probably to give him a breather. A lot of pitches being thrown and probably trying to calm him down because he hasn't given up hard contact yet.
Well, David Hensley had a good first start last night. Hensley went 2 for 3 with a walk. So he'll get another start today at second base, batting 7th tonight. Or this afternoon, I should say. Hensley knocked in the final run of the game last night with an RBI single to right. He's got a big hole on the right side again here. And instead he chops one down the third baseline. On the move, Moncada makes the throw in time to get Hensley for the final out. But the Astros scored 2 with 2 outs. RBI singles by Tucker and McCormick. It's 2-0 Houston.
Jose Urquidy on the bump. Should be looking forward to this start. He's got a couple of good starts against the White Sox last season, or in his career, 2 career starts against the White Sox. Has a .75 whip. We talk about his aggressiveness in the zone, taking advantage of some aggressive hitters who are chasing fastballs up out of the zone to set up the off speed. Urquidy with that 1.84 in a couple of starts wants to continue his success against this ball club.
First batter he'll face in this inning, Blummer, is Yohan Moncada, who takes a called strike. Moncada off to a hot start for the White Sox. As you can see, 4 for 9 this season, including a double and a run batted in. Moncada 0 for 5 with a strikeout in his career against Jose Urquidy. And one thing Urquidy has done against the White Sox in both starts has gone deep into games. Now, he's not fully stretched out like he was in June of 21 and August of last year when he faced the White Sox, but 7 innings and 7 2/3 innings in his 2 starts. And after the Astros got exactly 5 innings out of Framber Valdez and 5 innings out of Christian Javier, they could use a 6-inning start or more today from Urquidy.
Yeah, this is a tough stretch. We already talked about it. 8 straight games, and you don't have some of these starters stretched out to the point you would like.
A 1 pitch is shot the other way. It is slicing, and it is gone. That ball got out over the line in left field on an 0-2 pitch. Yohan Moncada hits his first home run of the season. That was a Crawford box special.
Just give credit to Yohan Moncada for protecting the plate in a 2-strike count with a pretty good swing. Mattress from Supermo is going to show you that fastball away. Might have been a little bit off that outside edge, yet Moncada went out there to go get it. He looks like a different ball player already in 3 games in comparison to what he looked like last season.
Now Moncada off to a hot start. He represented Cuba in the World Baseball Classic along with his teammate Luis Robert Jr. And he has come out on fire here in the regular season. Andrew Vaughn uses his 1 timeout here in this plate appearance. He has not had any success against Urquidy. 0 for 6 with 3 strikeouts in his career. The fastball slider combination from Urquidy has been tough on Vaughn. And this time he hits one back through the middle. JP, Jeremy Pena, who needs a Gold Glove? And he can use a bare hand. Pena, off the deflection by Urquidy, went to the bare hand. He says, hey, Breggy, you're not the only one who can make that play.
These Astro defenders are good with the leather. Even without the leather, they're showing that they can get some outs. And I think that deflection by Urquidy kind of changed the mind of Jeremy Pena, having to come back and adjust that angle and go with the bare hand. Kind of kicking it back towards that shortstop side of the bag. Pena, light on his feet, made a phenomenal play.
I'm not sure if he needed to barehand it for the timing of the play, but I think you're right because
it was the body position.
1-0 now to Oscar Colas. Hits the ball on the line. The other Gold Glover is there. Doesn't have to make a Gold Glove play, but he puts it away. Does Kyle Tucker for out number 2. So an 0-2 pitch hit out by Yoan Moncada, making it a 1-run game. Urquidy getting a couple of quick outs after that. Now he'll face Elvis Andrus, who starts the game with 1,999 hits and a smile on his face. Trying to become the 4th active major leaguer with 2,000 hits. El Cabrera, who's over 3,000 hits, obviously leading all active hitters. And you've got Joey Votto, who's a little bit above, right around 2,100. And then you've got Nelson Cruz, a little over 2,000. And Elvis Andrus trying to join what is now an exclusive club. Only 3 major leaguers currently active have as many hits as 2,000.
That'll change when Altuve gets healthy and comes back, who's getting close to that 2,000 number. But that number is definitely changing.
Altuve 65 hits away. Astros might see a guy who is closing in on that in the next road trip as well. Altuve sitting at 1,935 hits. He is currently number 6 of active hitters, with Andrew McCutchen just ahead of him, with the Pirates returning to Pittsburgh. Astros go to Pittsburgh on the next road trip. How about Alex Bregman? Alex Bregman makes that play look easy. Elvis Andrus bidding for hit number 2,000, and Bregman says, not with me on the hot corner. That'll do it for the White Sox. They do score a run with a leadoff home run by Yoan Moncada.
Which Astros star will reach this season milestone in 2023? Who do you think's getting there? Is it Yordan hitting 50 home runs, Kyle Tucker going 30-30, Jose Abreu winning the batting title? Let us know at ATT Sportsnet SW. Poll is up. TK.
All right, Julia. Yainer Diaz will lead things off here, bottom of the 2nd inning. Astros had some good at-bats against Lucas Giolito in the 1st inning. Not the hardest hit baseballs in the world, but they found the right spots as they ended up piling on 4 hits and a couple of runs with some 2-out RBIs. As Diaz gets his 2nd start of the young season, his 1st start where he is catching. He'll be Jose Urquidy's catcher today. Yainer making the team on the last day of spring training. Added to the roster, it's one of 3 opening day catchers. We have not yet seen Cesar Salazar play in a game. He's the only position player who has not yet appeared in a game. 2-2 pitches off the plate. There are 3 Astros on the current 26-man roster. Well, 5 Astros on the current 26-man roster who have not yet appeared in a game. 2 out of the bullpen, Ryan Stanek and Ronel Blanco. The 3rd catcher, Cesar Salazar, and the 2 starters, Luis Garcia and Hunter Brown. Yainer Diaz takes a walk there on a 3-2 pitch. Diaz is a very aggressive hitter. Good to see him draw a walk. I'll bring up Corey Julks. Julks said he was keeping that ball in safekeeping after last night's first major league hit. Did it in his first major league at bat. It came against Lance Lynn on an 0-2 pitch. He was a DH yesterday. Today playing in right field. Julks takes one off the plate, ball 1. Julks was a surprise addition to the opening day roster, a non-roster invitee in spring training. And he made the roster along with Cesar Salazar. Without being on the 40-man roster, the Astros ended up designating for assignment both Bly Madris and J.J. Matijevic to make room on the 40-man for Corey Julks. We can talk to Dana Brown a little bit about some of those decisions. They elected not to put Jose Altuve on the 60-day IL. Dana's going to join us in the 4th inning, the new general manager of the Astros. As Julks takes one off the plate, it's 2-1. There is Altuve. I think the cast is changing colors. I thought it was pink to start, but it's now got an orange hue to it. Astros orange.
Of course he's got custom casts. It's Altuve.
Of course. That one's hit high in the air. Julks got under this one. Shortstop Tim Anderson backs up a few feet, and he puts it away. Well, Julks retired for the first out. Back to the top of the order for Jeremy Pena. Pena singled into right field, scored the game's first run for the Astros. JP3 will be part of that ring giveaway tomorrow. First of the replica rings. And fouls went back to the screen. Pena had a good spring training and over 1,000 OPS, hit .324 with 3 home runs, also played in the World Baseball Classic. Pena 3 for 8 on the young season. Here's a fastball on the outside corner for a strike, 0-2. Goes after that high fastball, stays 0-2. Lucas Giolito not used to pitching in Game 3 of the regular season. He's used to being the opening day starter. He was the White Sox opening day starter in 2020, 2021, and 2022. But this year, Dylan Cease coming off the runner-up Cy Young Award season. Ooh, gosh. Breaking ball stays in and hits Jeremy Pena. Pena's now been hit by a pitch in each of the last 2 games. Last night he got hit in the wrist area on both wrists, and now he gets one on the lower body.
I think that might have been around that right wrist. This is a changeup tailing in. You can see the arms going to it as he drops down. It catches a very similar spot that he got hit in yesterday.
Man,
he's got to be wondering who put the magnet in there.
Yeah, where it hit him from here, it looked like it got him on the leg, but obviously you're right, Blummer. That caught him right inside on the right wrist area. He's been hit in that same area twice now.
Yeah, back-to-back days. It's going to take more than that.
Why can't they hit him in the tricep?
Good grief, because they feel bad for the baseball.
So Pena on base for the second time. The Astros now have runners on first and second. And you know Alex Bregman will get going, but at the start of a season, you always want to get that first hit out of the way. Alex still looking for that first hit. He's got 2 runners on here with 1 out. Struck out against Giolito his first time up. And he checks his swing on a ball that scoots away. Yainer Diaz thought about it, but Sebi Zavala, pretty quick recovery. It's 1-1. Well, this is the right team for Alex to get going against. He is a higher OPS against the White Sox than any other team in the American League in his career. 1,058 against Chicago. Chops that one foul. It's 1-2.
It's amazing with Alex, and we talk about these slow starts. He still has the same numbers at the end of the season, able to be highly productive. But I'm sure in the back of his mind he's saying, imagine if I did get off to a hot start.
He didn't like that call.
Wow, rightfully so.
Bregman usually knows the zone, and he tells Chris Whitson he thought that ball was high, but called out for out number 2.
That pitch was up out of the zone. A changeup, I believe, again. And I guess while we can, we're going to give credit to Zavala for framing that pitch up.
So that's one when you're still looking for that first hit, and you know you've taken that pitch accurately. Unfortunately, you don't get the call. That will frustrate Alex. Here's Yordan Alvarez taking a pitch away.
Yeah, amazement and deflation.
So there will be a point in the next few years, I believe. We may not have time to get into this topic. Here's the 1-0 pitch, where we're going to see automated balls and strikes.
Well, there's another example of it.
We're going to see that at some point. I think they may go to the system where you have a challenge system for balls and strikes. So you still have the human factor calling balls and strikes, and then a hitter, catcher, or pitcher can challenge the call. And then you have, I believe, depending on whatever they decide, maybe 3 chances to be wrong during the course of the game. I think some guys are going to have carte blanche to always be able to challenge, like an Alex Bregman. He always knows his own. The guy at the plate right now, Yordan Alvarez, knows his own. But there's some guys you probably will be like, hey, make sure you really feel it's egregious before you challenge. Because some guys always think they're getting the bad side of umpires' calls when it may not always be the case. But I trust this guy's eye. I trust Alex's eye. For a young guy, Hensley has a really good eye.
True.
But there are certain guys you just say, hey, if you know it's a ball because you know the zone, go ahead and freewheel it and challenge it. And I think we're going to see that in the next few years at some point as Yordan fouls one away. Alex is looking at it right now. Really?
Oh, he's about to chuck that iPad.
Oh, man.
Right?
There's 2 of the guys that we feel like have the better eyes on this roster, David Hensley and Alex Bregman.
He's looking for the told you so challenge. Told you.
Just validating what he knew at the plate. 2 on, 2 outs. Yordan at the plate. Astros knocked in a couple of runs with 2 outs in the first inning. Giolito having to work hard here. Already 49 pitches. This ball hit in the air to left field. Playable for Andrew Benintendi. He'll drift to his right and put it away for the final out of the inning. Astros put 2 more on, but strand 2. They lead at 2-1 at the end of 2.
Jose Urquidy, member of Team Mexico during the WBC. More than a member, though. Big name leader, representative of baseball in Mexico. It's where his career started. Kid from Mazatlan, just threw strikes back then, signing with the Astros, and then quickly made his way up, had success on every level ever since. Remember, he showed the world that he could do it in the 2019 World Series as a rookie, appeared in the 21 World Series, and last year 3 innings in Game 3 of the World Series. He's extremely proud of his country, where he came from. And Cesar Salazar, of course, from Mexico as well. His parents still live there. He told me Urquidy is a rock star there, which is actually hard to picture if you know Jose Urquidy, but he rolls like a rock star when he's over there and he visits the Mexican League and their teams. Well deserved, though, TK.
Yeah, he was so proud, wasn't he, Julia, of representing Team Mexico this year in the WBC?
He has a lot of emotion behind it, and he's just extremely proud. So much pride that comes with that flag, and then the history that he is a part of now. When he got on that mound in the World Series and then did it again and then did it again, he gets asked about it. You know, Valenzuela comes up a lot, and the comparisons, and he's just in awe of that because that's someone he looked up to. So extremely proud, and he did a great job.
Yeah, who was the second Mexican-born pitcher to win a World Series game after Fernando Valenzuela back in '81. And the rock star Jose Urquidy had to have a little meeting with the Mexican president after the World Series. 2-2 pitches, a little tapper down the third baseline. Alex bare hands the throw, not quite in time. Zavala got down the line pretty well. Alex had no chance, but made it a close play.
Made it a very close play. Got to make Zavala earn that one by hustling down that first baseline. Much more Alex could do.
Well, even if he lets it go, it's going to stay fair. So he did everything he could do, but Zavala beat the throw. Now Tim Anderson bats and takes a call. Takes one inside for a ball, 1-0. When Urquidy finished up that World Series, and he met with Mexican President Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador. Said that was one of the highlights of his life, getting to meet the Mexican president and have a little conversation with him. I want to know, I don't know if Julia knows the answer to this. I could be putting her on the spot, but I want to know what happened to their pet pig. That was part of the bio for Jose Urquidy and his wife for a few years. They had that little baby, Josefa, was it?
I believe.
Josefina?
Yes.
Josefa.
I know it got a lot bigger than they thought.
Much bigger than they thought. You're right. And so remember, I think it was a couple of years now, they moved her to kind of a farm sanctuary area. So she's happy. She's free. She has space that she needs.
Be free.
But they are parents to a baby girl now.
Yes.
That is the other big news of the offseason.
That's awesome.
Yes. Congratulations to them. He is loving being a girl dad and loving that baby. She's, what, a little more than 2 months old right now?
That's awesome. It's so cool. Thanks for all those updates. Now we know more about Jose Urquidy, the rock star.
Yes, of course.
A rock star. Yeah, he's so humble. I can't imagine his status in his native land. 3-2 pitch to Anderson. Oh, he came back from 3-0 and he strikes out Anderson. That's a big out right there for Jose Urquidy.
Good pitch with that sweeper, as they're calling it. But that was a very good slider out of the hand of Jose Urquidy. Get Tim Anderson to swing and miss. Just a wave at it.
Now here's Luis Robert Jr. He'll take a called strike. Robert Jr. flied out to center field his first time up. Now went down for a ball. Astros lost the opener here on Thursday night 3-2. Bounced back with a 6-3 win last night to even up this series at a game apiece. One more tomorrow with the White Sox, and then the Tigers coming to town. That one wide, 2-1. No swing, says first base umpire Roberto Ruiz. Yainer Diaz getting his first start behind the plate. So far, first time through the lineup. White Sox have hit just one ball hard. Ball sliced foul. That's going to end up in the crowd. Another good crowd on a Saturday afternoon. We've had a sellout here the first two games of the schedule. Two and two the count to Robert. Last year, Yainer Diaz caught 2 games behind the plate. Jose Urquidy started his first game as a catcher in the major leagues for Yainer Diaz. This one popped high in the air. Hensley is being called off by Jeremy Pena. JP puts it away for out number 2. Stream every out-of-market game live or on demand with MLB.tv. Blackout and other restrictions do apply. Visit MLB TV for details. Two outs. Andrew Benintendi, the batter. The other game that Yainer caught had Luis Garcia starting, so his third start behind the plate, now getting Jose Urquidy for his second time. And there is a strike.
That's some good spin this inning from Jose Urquidy. Got a strike out of Tim Anderson on that slider. Had a pop-up of Luis Robert also on that slider, but a good curveball to start this at bat against Benintendi.
That one off the plate, 1-1.
Struck out Benintendi with that changeup in the first at bat.
Been watching to see if Jose Urquidy has the pitch calm. I think Yainer is calling pretty much the whole game behind the plate. Martin Maldonado called the first couple of games for both Framber Valdez and Christian Javier. Maldi, you would expect that. Yainer, I was curious to see if there was going to be some pitcher to catcher communication, but Yainer is making all the calls. You can see him punching in the signals on the top of his right shin guard. And for me, Yainer, everyone knows Yainer can hit. It's how he does behind the plate, how he calls the game, how he receives the game that will keep him up here at the big league level, because Corey Lee is thought of as the better defensive catcher. But so far, so good for Yainer in his first start this year.
Yeah, there's different attributes. I believe Diaz has a better arm than Corey Lee, but you're right. Corey Lee has a lot of other attributes that he does back there as far as receiving and calling games.
Two and two the count to Andrew Benintendi. The thing about Yainer Diaz and Corey Lee, they're both very high on both of them. They're both 24 years old. Corey's getting a chance to play every day for AAA Sugarland. Yiner obviously will get spot starts here. Martin Maldonado does not miss a lot of baseball, as you know from watching him through the years. Two-two pitch is into right center field, falling quickly, and it's down for a hit. Tucker will play it on one hop. Zavala will head to third. And Andrew Benintendi has a base hit into right center, put runners on the corners with 2 outs.
Benintendi had to go down and get that changeup. Maybe yanked it a little bit and helped out Benintendi by having that a little bit closer to him as far as positioning on the plate. Off the end of the bat. Places it out there in right field nicely to keep this inning going with runners at first and third.
So they'll have a little meeting on the mound here with one of the hotter hitters for the White Sox, Eloy Jimenez, at the plate with first and third. Jimenez had 2 RBI doubles in last night's game. Now time for a word from Reliant.
Reliant, official energy provider of the Houston Astros.
Urquidy has talked to the infield. I'm sure Jose Abreu was in on a lot of those hitter meetings before this series started, knowing his teammates from last year very well. Jimenez last year an RBI every 5.41 at bats. That was number 6 in the American League in terms of RBI per at bats. That's with guys with 325 plate appearances or more. He was not healthy most of the season. Benintendi loves to go, and Urquidy starts him off with that sweeper for a swinging strike, 0-1. Is that what it was, a sweeper?
Yep, you're exactly right.
So certain guys have sliders, certain guys have sweepers. And
if I'm a pitcher, am I offended that it's a sweeper or a slider?
I think it's good. You're always improving the verbiage throughout baseball, and I think if you can, I'm not sure why they're distinguishing between the two, but there is a reason why the sweeper is in vogue now as opposed to the slider for some pitchers. Now it's 0-2. Now Jimenez is on the defensive, and Jose Urquidy can see his way out of this inning. He used to call the combo of a slider and a curve a slur, but this one may have to do with more.
Yeah, I think it was the invention of the cutter that kind of complicated things.
Yeah. 0-2 pitch. Doesn't get him to chase there on the sweeper. It's 1-2. Eloy Jimenez, 2 for 10 on the season. Zavala on third, Benintendi on first. Benintendi on the move. The pitch is down. So now 2 runners in scoring position and a 2-2 count. Urquidy has had to work in this inning. He has thrown 26 pitches here in the third.
Yeah, next pitch will be number 55.
Astros have put 49 pitches on Lucas Giolito's counter in the first 2 innings. Pretty big pitch early on in this game, 2-2, and he doesn't get a chase. Jimenez got down in the count 0-2, and he's done a good job laying off some enticing pitches. It's now a full count. You can see Urquidy closing in on 30 pitches for the inning. Yoan Moncada waits on deck. It's going to be a walk after getting ahead 0-2. Jimenez waited out the walk. So the bases are filled with White Sox and 2 outs. Yoan Moncada hit one just over the yellow line into the Crawford boxes his first time up.
Urquidy's got to find something right here. Maybe get that big swing early, get a pop-up. Oh, man. Or you can just throw a pitch inside far enough with the curveball and have Moncada destroy his front leg.
That was painful from here.
Yeah, that's not a good feeling. Right off the shin. A little extra sauce on that shin burger. Maybe some extra cheese, a couple of tomatoes. Oof.
He'll get looked at by the trainer here.
He'll carry that around like a leg weight for the next 2 weeks.
By the way, that home run by Moncada, I said at the time, was a Crawford box special. It actually would have been out in 7 different stadiums.
Yankee.
Yep. Here, obviously, Dodger Stadium, Tropicana Field, Guaranteed Rate Field, Angel Stadium, and PNC Park. Would not have gotten over the monster though in Fenway. Well, Moncada seems to be okay after being checked on. Urquidy trying to work through a bases loaded 2-out situation. On and in, 1-1. Urquidy has now made 30 pitches in the inning. Made just 28 pitches the first 2 innings combined. 2-1 the count. Jose got ahead 0-2 on Eloy Jimenez and then walked him on the next 4 pitches, so he has missed with 6 of the last 7 deliveries. Gets that call. That's a big swing call right there.
I'm with you on that. That takes your 3-1 count away and turns it into a 2-2 count. He hit his spot, but it was down and off the plate. We've seen Chad Whitson expand a little bit with the zone both ways. There you go.
Out tip caught by Diaz, and that will end the inning. Stranding, the bases loaded. Big strikeout for Urquidy. Astros work through the top of the 3rd. When we come back, it'll be Jose Abreu, Kyle Tucker, and the Chaz
collection, including jerseys, hats, and more at the Eugene Station Team Store. Visit astros.com/gold for more info. TK.
All right, Julia. Brian Abreu, or Jose Abreu, will lead things off here in the 3rd inning. Abreu followed by Kyle Tucker, Chaz McCormick, and time is called, and that is going to be.
It's going to be on the bullpen. Can you close the door?
The door to the bullpen was not closed, so no time violation, just a little reset. Abreu struck out his first time up. Jose so far 2 for 8 in his first series playing a team. In the White Sox uniform, he has been 9 years and 1,270 games in a White Sox uniform, now playing against them for the first time. Goes after that pitch, it's 1-1. Abreu signing a 3-year, $58.5 million deal with the Astros this offseason, getting $19.5 for 3 years. Takes that pitch from his former teammate for a strike. Is 1-2. Abreu with the White Sox led the American League in RBIs in 2019. He led them again in 2020 when he won MVP. 2021 finished second to Salvador Perez by just 4 runs batted in. Goes down swinging here as Abreu strikes out for the 2nd time. No Player Does More is presented by HEB. Kyle Tucker. Can he match his number in home runs and stolen bases? That's right. Could he become the first player since Jeff Bagwell, who did it 3 times in his career, to have 30 home runs or more, 30 stolen bases or more? Last night he had 1 of each. Tucker getting on the board with his first home run and his first stolen base. And I think with the new rules, with the new pickoffs, with Tucker's ability to steal bases, he very well could see a 30-30 season.
And he did it hitting 260 last season, so you would imagine if he starts to see some open space and starts to ramp that batting average up, that's increasing the opportunities to be on base and go get those 30 bags.
Speaking of not seeing the shift as much, should help him.
Yep.
As you can see how much he does pull the ball. He was shifted over 90% of the time last year. Tucker's got a 2-1 count here.
And his success rate, so he wouldn't have to have too many attempts to get to that 30 plateau.
Yeah, he's always been a high stolen base percentage guy. 2-1 pitch hit in the air pretty well to center field, all the way back. Robert, he's near the wall. He'll leap up and make a phenomenal play up against the Astros bullpen. He took one away from Kyle Tucker. Luis Robert Jr. showing Tucker he's not the only one that can make plays against the wall in this series.
This ball was hit well. 101 off the bat towards that bullpen fence, but Luis Robert did a great job of tracking that, timing it, and being able to elevate against that fence and make a great catch to keep Tucker off the base paths.
Took one away from the Gold Glover Kyle Tucker right there. Now Chas McCormick bats for the second time. Chas with an RBI single on the first pitch of the season he saw. Chas did not get in the game Thursday or Friday, starting for the first time today, expected to be in the lineup again tomorrow. Chas coming off a season where he played 119 games for the Astros and hit 14 home runs in the regular season. Chas will always be remembered for that incredible catch saving Game 5 of the World Series and letting the Astros have a chance to wrap it up here at home for Game 6 as he took one away from JT Realmuto in the 9th inning of a 1-run game. Chas sends one deep into right center field. Robert's going to flag this one down. He made a phenomenal play on Tucker. That one a little more routine as Chas made a bid, but he's flagged down by Robert for the final out of the inning. By a special guest, he is the new general manager of the Houston Astros, now in his 3rd game as GM, Dana Brown. Dana, thanks for joining us. Is it a little different watching the game when you're the man, you're the GM now, as opposed to when you were the special assistant to the GM or the director of scouting?
Yeah, it's totally different. First of all, I'm glad you guys have me on today. It's a different thing because, you know, as a special assistant to the GM or just a scouting director or whatever that is, you know, you're responsible for a few players. Now it's like, hey, you have to worry about the entire team, so it's a little bit more difficult.
Kyle Tucker is going to get a shot here if it stays in play, and it doesn't. That'll be a foul ball.
So we heard opening day, Pedro Grifol gets the win. He had a beer shower. They take him in there and they celebrate. Was there any celebration for your first win as a GM?
No, not at all. A couple handshakes and maybe some champagne back at the hotel.
Okay, that counts. That's good.
That counts. Okay.
So what are your thoughts? I mean, obviously you've watched the Astros from afar, but being immersed in the city now, seeing these crowds, being a part of the Minute Maid Park experience, what are your thoughts for the first 2 games?
Well, I would tell you this. The energy here is unbelievable. It's just so exciting. The people are so exciting. They've welcomed me with open arms. I get a lot of handshakes as I'm walking through the stadium, so it's been very exciting.
Yeah, this is a good place to be. It's definitely turned into a baseball city over the years, so you are in a good spot. How happy were you with spring training, and how happy are you with the team that you broke with?
Very happy. You know, other than losing Altuve, I think, you know, the team is in a good spot. So I'm very happy with the work that we put in. Dusty got the boys going, and, you know, we're ready to go.
You had some tough calls at the end of spring training. That had to be some back and forth. Surprised some people when both Corey Julks and Cesar Salazar made the team. Were those some really tough calls for positions 25 and 26 on the roster?
Yeah, it's tough. You know, we of course you're missing Brantley right now, but you know, Julks we felt like had a pretty good spring. He's got some power. We feel good about his left field defense. And then Salazar, we're carrying 3 catchers. Maybe Dusty can mix and match toward the end of the game if he has to run for Maldi or if he has to pinch hit or something like that. So it gives Dusty a little more flexibility. So, you know, we felt good about, you know, making those moves.
Yeah, you've got Mauricio Dubon, David Hensley, Corey Julks, some of these guys that can move around the diamond a little bit. Even Yainer Diaz is a good enough athlete to move around. How important is it as an organization these days to draft and develop guys who are athletes and can give you versatility?
athleticism is a big part of acquiring players. And, you know, when you can give Dusty these pieces and he can mix and match and move them around and, you know, lefty here, righty here, defensive day here, if there's a single baller going, those are valuable.
Called third strike. Urquidy freezes Andrew Vaughn, who has struggled in his career against Jose Urquidy. That is strikeout number 4 for Jose and went away here in the 4th.
Yeah, Vaughn put up a pretty good battle right here, but Urquidy goes the spin for the win and gets him to take that pitch on the outside corner. Probably did a good job of setting him up with the elevated fastballs earlier in that at-bat to put him away with that slider.
Dana Brown, our guest, as Urquidy has retired the leadoff hitter for the first time in this game. Dana, you have been around this game for a long time. How much have you heard from either Alex or your friends with the Atlanta Braves or others around the league who you've spent time with here the first couple of games of the season? Urquidy is going to have to make a tough play. Off balance throw. Oh, they said he was safe. Did Jose Abreu come down on the bag? That's what Dusty wants to look at. What did you think from the naked eye, D. Brown?
Looked like he did. Looked like he did a little tippy toe thing there.
But pretty impressive that Urquidy, who's a right-hander, falls off towards that first base side, was able to bounce back and go the other way. And I think they're going to take a peek at this, TK.
Dana Brown on first view said he thought he got his foot down, and they're going to challenge his play. So, Dana, you might have seen that one correctly because the Astros usually don't challenge unless they think they have a case. It's close.
Tippy toe.
It's close. Which foot comes down first?
Oh, he's out.
You think?
Yeah.
Thought he got the tippy toe down.
So how much have you heard from others around the league?
Yeah, so Alex Anthopoulos, he checks in with me a couple times a week. And Perry Manassian, he'll also call me. You know, those are 2 close friends that I work with in both Atlanta and also Toronto.
It's going to be really close whether they have enough to overturn it. It has to be clear and convincing evidence. Do you guys think we've got enough?
I think there's enough.
There's obvious bias between the two of us, at least. I think he got a little bit of a toe down before that foot hit for Colas. How much fun was it to watch Corey Julks get that big league hit yesterday?
Yeah, first at bat. It was outstanding. Line drive, too.
That was a sweet swing on a breaking ball, yeah.
Two strikes on him. You know, he stayed in there. That's just exciting for the young kid.
Close play at first. Oscar Colas ruled safe. So when you look at the construction of this roster, Michael Brantley's been here. We saw him receiving his ring, and obviously when they unveiled the World Championship banner out in the outfield, but Brantley's going to leave us for a little while. What are your hopes for when we see Michael? Obviously that will extend the lineup after he goes back and gets ready for this season.
Hopefully he'll get back by the end of the month or early May. You know, Brantley is a pretty special human being, special talent, really good hitter.
After review, the call on the field stands. The runner is safe. Houston will lose their challenge.
Not enough to overturn it. It took him a while, so it was a close call. But Colas is going to reach. So hopefully by the end of the month for Michael. And then the fact that you DFA'd a couple of players as opposed to putting Jose Altuve on the 60-day IL, does that mean there's hope that maybe he might not be as long as 60 days? There's at least a sliver of a possibility?
Yeah, I feel like some guys heal much faster than others. And I feel like, you know, he may have a chance of coming back after, 6 weeks or 7 weeks or something like that. And I wouldn't want to lose any games without him, so hopefully he told me today he's feeling really well, so that's a good thing.
Colas on the move, ground ball towards short. Bregman cuts in front of Paney to make the play. That'll be the second out of the inning.
Thank goodness, he's put a lot of soft contact and putting a lot of pressure on the defense, charging in and trying to make some of these plays. Jeremy Paney had a good one earlier. Alex with another good play moving in and to his left. What were the conversations like around not replacing an Altuve, but kind of holding down the fort until he does get healthy between Hensley and Dubon?
Yeah, we felt like we had some internal candidates that we needed to give a chance to, like Hensley and Dubon. We also made a couple phone calls, but, when other teams know that, one of your big pillars go down, they're going to ask for more. So we felt like the internal candidates were pretty good, and so we're going to give them an opportunity. Hensley's off to a really good start. And I know Dubon's a really good defensive player, so it gives us some flexibility to go offense, defense one day, you know. So we feel like we can get it done.
For a guy who has traveled throughout his baseball career, have you figured out your plans for travel? Are you going to stay with the big league team on some trips? Are you going to see all the minor league teams? What are your plans?
Yeah, initially I'm going to stay with the big league team, and I'm going to try to see some of this stuff for the amateur draft coming up. Haven't really gotten to that yet.
Seby Zavala, who had an infield hit his first time up, just hit one off. The community leaderboard signs out there in left field to give the White Sox a 3-2 lead. So you'll be watching some guys that could be potentially drafted as the White Sox take a 3-2 lead. You're still keeping that scouting background, right?
Yeah, I still want to keep my eye on the draft just to make sure we're acquiring some good players. I haven't really got into it yet. I did see 2 players in Florida, Santana and also Johnson. Actually 3 in George Lombard's son. I did get a chance to see 3 guys.
So you're packing some winter clothes for Minnesota and Pittsburgh?
Yeah, definitely Pittsburgh. Minnesota, I may have an amateur trip to go see a few guys.
I don't blame you.
Yes.
My goodness. Yeah, the scouting report up there it's not worth the pain of freezing out there.
Not my first rodeo. I've been
it's
up
nice
in
to have that
Minnesota.
option.
Oh, yeah, there's an amateur event I have to go cover.
Yeah.
Here's Tim Anderson with a 1-1 count. That ball on the right, and that's going to fall in front of Kyle Tucker for a hit. Urquidy, who's given up 3 hits in this inning. White Sox put 33 pitches on him last inning, and now taking a lead here in the 4th.
Were there any thoughts when you guys were constructing this this ball club, coming out of the spring training, knowing that you had 8 straight games, one of the few teams out there that actually has that? Was there any thought between who to bring, who not to bring, or was that the impetus behind stretching out a guy like Ronel Blanco?
Yeah, I'm glad we have Blanco stretched out.
Yeah, he turned out well.
Yeah, we can do a few things with that one. I think I may have called that one on the air.
You did.
We played it back. We gave you all the credit.
First broadcast of the spring. Speaking of Ronel Blanco, there he is warming up.
So, having that depth, we're going to need the innings. When you play that many games in a row, a guy like Blanco could come in, in the 4th or 5th and give you 2 or 3 innings. That's valuable. Yeah.
So in a game like today, if for example Urquidy does not go more than 4 or 5, Diaz trying to throw at Anderson, but he had a huge jump. Tim Anderson stolen his 2nd base of this series. Anderson has been a thorn in this series. He has been on base the entire series, it seems.
He's a good player.
Really good player.
He's a very good player.
6 hits and 2 walks already in the 3 games as he steals 2nd base to get into scoring position. But in a case like today, if Urquidy only gives you, 4 or 5 innings, as you said, a Blanco can carry you all the way to maybe even the 8th inning. Now you're not using as many of your relievers.
Correct, and a big part of that is, keeping you in the game and giving you a chance to come back.
Which is what the Astros bullpen did yesterday so well. The Astros have 8 games in 8 days. They're the only team to play the first 8 games of the schedule. They'll be tested right out of the gates as you see Ronel Blanco warming up. So he's got the benefit of knowing how to warm up as a reliever, but being lengthened out as a starter that can give you quality innings. Robert down in the count 1-2, and he goes down swinging. Dana, so much appreciate you being here. We hope you have a great year. We can't wait to hang out with you a little bit on the road as well.
All right, guys. Thanks. I appreciate you having me again.
Thanks, you, sir.
Thank you.
Dana Brown, general manager of the Astros. It's now 3-2 Chicago.
Nate Park. Enjoy $1 hot dogs all game long. Every Tuesday night game throughout the season. Visit astros.com/$dogs to get your tickets today. Guys, I wanted to ask you if you kept hearing a Mike yell from where you are, because Josh Reddick can be really loud when he's yelling at his friends like Michael Brantley, who's hanging out until he jumps on his flight to West Palm Beach. But those two going back and forth was great. Also, congrats to Josh Reddick, who just recently retired and came to the game. I think he might already be gone by now. He brought his twins, and they need their nap. Parents know. But he did spend the first part of this game watching his boys play.
That's pretty cool. And yes, congrats to Josh Reddick. He will always be remembered here for how much he endeared himself to the Astros fans and the woo chants. And good luck in his next chapter.
Yeah, fans loved him here. You'll still hear the random woo every once in a while. But his twins are adorable. I follow him on Instagram. No offense to Josh, great guy. But his kids are awesome. They are always doing something.
David Hensley gets something in his eye. This is one of those areas of discretion for the home plate umpire where he can stop the clock when something like that happens. Hensley clears whatever was bothering him, and it's 2-2. 2-2 pitch is not a strike. Sebi Zavala started out of the crouch thinking he was going to throw the ball around, but it is a ball. 3-2.
Sebi feeling frisky after that home run, trying to buy that one for Lucas.
He is 66 pitches in after 25 in the first, 24 in the second. Hensley grounds one to third on 2 hops, backhanded by Yoan Moncada. His throw is wide, and Hensley's going to head to second base. Andrew Vaughn will not make a throw in time. David Hensley reaches second on the wide throw by Yoan Moncada.
Moncada had time to plant that foot and come over the top with a good throw. But he has a tendency to drop that arm angle a little bit, and it seemed like that one sailed on Andrew Vaughn at first base, who wasn't able to come up with it. Nice little 2-hopper to the right-hand side. Looked like he did get set, but you can see that arm angle a little bit out to the right. Doesn't really get on top of that throw. And just sailed on Vaughn. Sometimes, too, as a first baseman, you got to protect that throw as opposed to trying to get that out.
Now Yainer Diaz bats and takes a pitch in for ball 1.
It'd be good to see the bottom of this order take advantage of a mistake right here. Just kind of gets on the side, doesn't really get on top and extend through it.
And a good job by Hensley, too, as he took advantage of an extra base when that ball got away. Some guys are staying at first base after that play. Hensley was aggressive in making that turn, and Vaughn could not make the throw in time. So now lead runner on second base on the 2-base error by Moncada, and Yainer Diaz taking a strike. It's 1-2. Last year, the Astros defensively were the 3rd best team in all of baseball, and the White Sox 4th from the bottom. That showed up last night. Dana Brown was talking about that on the way out, how Kyle Tucker's catch was significant, as was Alex Bregman's bare hand play in that 7th inning. The Astros flashing some leather at the White Sox in that 6-3 win. We were lucky enough, Plummer, to have dinner with Dana Brown this spring, and that kind of helped facilitate our relationship with the new GM, and he is a great individual. He is so much fun to hang out with.
Yeah, he's smart. I love that he is one of those. He actually is not afraid of the analytics, and he's not afraid of bringing that scouting aspect to it. And that's what I kind of enjoy about him, is he's kind of that get my eyes on him and then have the numbers back up what he's seeing. So it's a lot of fun to talk to him because he can bring both sides of the baseball to it. And he's no lack of energy.
Oh, he is a people person. Ground ball to second. Anderson on 2 hops retires Yainer Diaz. How about Julia Morales? We got our rings yesterday on the broadcast, and the 3rd member of our broadcast team today received her ring. Congrats, Julia.
Oh, it's beautiful. Thank you, guys. And congrats to you, all of us. I forgot. I wore too many rings today. I was like, oh no, I've got. I definitely can switch them out. I will switch out the ring I had on to wear that.
Sagel, who presented us with our rings, presenting you with your ring before the game. A lot of rings today, Julia.
Just grateful, very grateful to be a part of this, and for Jim Crane to recognize so many people that work hard behind the scenes. And it's fun. I was walking through the kitchen to make my way down, and people working hard back there, and they're sweating and they're preparing food, and one of the guys stopped me. He's like, I cannot wait to see our ring. And it just reminded me that everyone gets one in here, and that's how cool this entire thing is. It's just it really feels like a family, and we can all celebrate each other, even though these guys on the field, you know, they do the work and they put in the effort, but we can all really take part in the celebration together.
You're right. That needs to be promoted a little bit. Has Corey Julks sends one into shallow center. Robert a long run, and he'll make a sliding catch. That ball hung up a little too long for Julks to try and get a base hit out of that. That's out number 2. Yeah, the Jim Crane not only presents his team, his staff, his broadcast team, he brings to everybody within the Astros organization, and as Julia said, including the people that are cooking underneath the stadium, everybody gets a ring.
No, it's a very good understanding that, like Julia said, these guys go out on the field, they compete, but there's also an environment that goes along with it. And then Minute Maid is one of the best ballparks in the league. We hear it from broadcasters, other fans, friends, family that come in here and watch it. And a lot of the reason is because of that support staff that's in here, and Jim recognizes them. And he also puts on a pretty good show for the workers that get those rings too. They just don't kind of walk by and hand them off. It's a pretty good event where you get to have your picture taken. You walk through the line, they present it to you. So credit to them for recognizing everybody who is involved.
Jeremy Pena with an 0-1 count. And hits the ball sharply. That's a base hit. David Hensley will score to tie the game. Jeremy Pena heading to second. He will be safe. 3-3 all tied up.
Jeremy Pena starting this season the way it ended for him, getting big hits, driving in runs, showing amazing athleticism. He gets a little bit of a spinner. That's a slider that kind of stays on that inner third. Pulls the hands in and yanks it past Moncada. Hensley scores easily. And a great read by Pena with the left-handed throwing Benintendi. Takes that extra base on him. I think they're going to review it, though.
They're reviewing the play at second?
I believe.
So if they're reviewing the play at second, the good news for the Astros is regardless of whether he is safe or out, the run scores. You saw Hensley did not take any chances. He continued to run hard going through the bag because it was not a force play. It was a tag play. You have to score before the third out is made. And Hensley clearly did that.
No, that's good coaching and also kind of that sixth sense in baseball, recognizing that you've got to hustle because you've got to understand that Jeremy Pena might try and extend the play to second base. So make sure you cross home before that tag is made or that out is made.
Looks like his hand's there.
I agree. Does it pop off at all at any point? Does he?
Let's follow it. Follow. Well, we're good.
Yeah, if that's what they're reviewing, he's safe.
Yeah, that should be a quick. That should be a confirmed, not a stands. The Astros lost their challenge on a call that stood, but that one looked like it's confirmed.
Dusty wants to keep playing. He's wondering what the heck is taking so long.
Yeah, that shouldn't take long.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. The runner is safe. Chicago will lose their challenge.
So there you go. Both teams have lost their challenge until the later innings when it becomes umpire's discretion. But both teams 0 for 1 on challenges today. At least the Astros had one that was so close they couldn't confirm it. Unfortunately, couldn't overturn it either. There's Alex Bregman with the game tied at 3. Jeremy Pena on base for the third time. 2 hits and a hit by pitch. And Alex checks his swing on a pitch down.
Giolito's thrown that changeup a bunch to right-handed hitters in this ball game. Almost got Alex a chase on that one.
All the Astros runs scoring today with 2 out. Jose Urquidy will get 4 innings of work today. And Giolito is starting to get close to that pitch count where they would start to get bullpen action going, you would think, in the White Sox pen. He's now at 80 in his first start of the year. And a 2-0 count here to Alex Bregman. That's what you're talking about, the pitch that Alex lays off, another changeup.
Did a good job picking that one up out of the hand.
Well, there is a base empty, but you never want to face the guy on deck with 2 runners on. So Alex might see a pitch or 2 to hit here. He does get a 3-0 green light and chops a grounder to short. And that will do it for the Astros in the fourth. But they do add a run. It will be an unearned run, an error to start the inning, and an RBI double by Jeremy Pena with 2 outs to tie the game at 3. Where you get incredible savings all month long during the Rooms to Go anniversary sale. And by Fubo TV. Stream the Astros on AT&T Sportsnet with Fubo TV. Visit FuboTV.com for a free trial.
Welcome back. Top of the 5th, tied at 3 apiece. This is going to be our Crawford Bach call to the bullpen, getting Ronel Blanco into this ball game. There you see his spring numbers. This is his second chance to break with the Houston Astros. And we were just talking to Astros general manager Dana Brown about Ronel Blanco, who had a couple of good outings. They decided to stretch him out. Now he is that swing man, long man out of that bullpen for the Houston Astros after pitching very well in winter ball and very well in spring training, earning that spot in his Astros bullpen.
Certainly did. Only 1 earned run the entire spring. And Blanco could be another guy that, if needed, could make a start for the Astros in 2023. But right now his role is the long man, facing Andrew Benintendi and then Eloy Jimenez and Yoan Moncada right into the teeth of the order here. 3, 4, 5 hitters for the White Sox. Benintendi 1 for 2 in this game, also has a stolen base. Swings through that pitch. The slider evens up the count at 2 apiece. Jose Urquidy goes 4 innings today. Urquidy allowed 7 hits, 3 runs. He walked 1, struck out 5. Swing and a miss. Blanco strikes out his first hitter of the season as he gets Andrew Benintendi to start the 5th inning.
Beautifully located slider down and in. Ronel Blanco will be primarily fastball slider, and this is that pitch down and in. Benintendi, a pretty good hitter, can't even fight that off as he swings over the top on that beautiful slider.
Now Eloy Jimenez takes a 96-mile-an-hour fastball up for ball 1. Jimenez 0 for 1 with a walk. Urquidy threw 82 pitches today in his 4 innings of work. 54 of those in the last 2 innings. And Blanco, who is working very quickly, getting ahead of Jimenez 1 and 2.
Slider looks sharp early.
Just 2 pitchers now out of the Astros bullpen. Actually 1 pitcher now out of the Astros bullpen has not thrown. Out of the 8 pitchers, 7 have thrown. Just Ryan Stanek remains. We'll probably see Ryan get an outing at some point today. This ball hit hard on the 2-2 pitch. Chaz turns around and he stays with it to make the play. That ball was hit right at Chaz McCormick. May have had some knuckle action as he got twisted around, but he hung in there for the 2nd out.
Well, typically off a right-hander's bat, it will slice away, and that's why you see Chaz kind of move towards that, or start looking over that right shoulder. But you're right, TK, he squared that up. And so it might have been knuckling and moving out of there maybe in a little more untraditional fashion, but he did a great job of staying with it.
That was a great view from the home plate camera where you could see it start to tail towards right center field, and then it kind of changed course mid-flight. Here's Yoan Moncada. Moncada takes 1 down for a ball. It's 1-1. Astros 3, White Sox 3. The Astros starter Jose Urquidy lifted after 4 innings. Lucas Giolito through 4 has also thrown the same number of pitches, but it appears he'll be out for the 5th inning as there's no bullpen action going for Chicago here with 1 out and 2 strikes, with 2 outs and 2 strikes on Moncada. Yainer Diaz took that one off the right thigh. Astros starters so far in this series have gone a total of 14 innings. Framber Valdez 5, Christian Javier 5, and Jose Urquidy today going 4 innings. Tomorrow they'll turn the ball over to Luis Garcia for his first start of the year, and then Hunter Brown gets the ball to begin the Tiger series on Monday. 3-2 pitch. That's a swing and a miss. Ronel Blanco, a perfect inning to start his 2023 season. We're halfway home, tied at 3.
The biggest hit last night, clearing the bases in the 7th. He said last night, everyone knows I've been in these moments before. He just stayed calm, got a good pitch to hit. Several moments like that in his career in the postseason on a much bigger scales. And you're watching the Game 1 of the ALDS against Seattle, the walk-off home run to get the postseason party started. I don't know if this building has ever hit a higher decibel level, and that's saying a lot considering all the games it's seen, guys. But like Dusty said after the game, we've seen this over and over and over. DK.
Absolutely. Good to see him back in the lineup for a third straight game, DHing today. Jordan has singled and scored a run and also flied out to left field. Takes one up and in from Lucas Giolito.
Gosh.
Runners in scoring position, 5 for 11, 1753 OPS, and help set the tone for the Seattle series and wrap up the World Series.
Yeah, he bookended that postseason nicely, didn't he?
That first game against Seattle, hitting one out, down to the final out. Astros, Jordan Alvarez at the plate. Robbie Ray came in out of the Mariners bullpen, and Jordan destroyed the baseball to walk it off and send this crowd into a frenzy. This crowd wasn't the only part of Minute Maid Park in a frenzy. Well, got a chance to see the Astros bullpen reaction after this Jordan at bat.
Stay tuned for that, please.
Because he's the normally reserved Bill Murphy, assistant pitching coach.
Stoic.
Stoic is a good word for him.
Or asleep.
What? 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. So Murph, we love Murph, but watch his reaction to the Jordan home run. He's the one next to Ryan Presley. It goes on.
Let it rip. Get out of the way.
That is beautiful.
Murph is taking down bodies.
Who is that guy?
Right? Still going.
Presley's cracking up. I gotta love it. We did a little Zoom Astro line with Murph this offseason, and he said he got a lot of texts after people saw that reaction.
It's like he.
Who are you?
Right, he's like he held in every emotion he's had all year for every game for that one moment.
That's a great way to put it.
He was like a 75-ounce bottle of champagne that had been shook for about a year and a half.
Oh, it's so good. That's a moment that will be etched in Astros fans' memories forever. Jordan Alvarez with that incredible walk-off down to their final out.
Yeah, Murph's one of the best. He's always a great conversation, but he's not subdued, but he's very calm in his demeanor. He's very logical and thoughtful in the words that he uses in talking to us. I've had some great interviews with him on our broadcasts, and he works literally tirelessly, and that's why I said he's usually asleep, because we get on the team flight and he's in the same row as I am, and it's lights out before the wheels are up. Eric Jordan slugged his way to a World Series title. Now you can get his ring. This Wednesday, all fans receive a Jordan Alvarez World Series replica ring presented by Gallery Furniture. Visit Astros.com/promotion to get your tickets today. And usually he won't pop awake until the wheels are down.
Really?
Yeah, it's amazing.
He goes takeoff to touchdown.
I don't know if he's trying to avoid me or if he's really tired.
That was a beautiful reaction. So Giolito's up to 94 pitches now, but he's having maybe his best inning here to try and close out his outing. He has struck out Jordan Alvarez and Jose Abreu. Now he faces Kyle Tucker. They do have bullpen action going to the White Sox. Jimmy Lambert is loosening up. Giolito is approaching. Oh, that's Yep, that's Jimmy Lambert warming up. Giolito's approaching close to 100 pitches. Lambert we saw in the game yesterday.
This is the Giolito that the White Sox want back. They didn't have him last year. There was a big difference in body type. Home plate umpire Whitson making the call on that swing from Kyle Tucker, but Giolito put on a lot of upper body weight last season. Lost some velocity, was down about 2 miles an hour. Didn't really have the curveball or the slider to go with it. Lost some weight, came into spring training this season. Ball lofted to left. Benintendi will catch that easily and end this inning. But Giolito is slim and looking good today.
Yeah, that's an outstanding outing. He goes 5, and after giving up a couple of runs in the first, allows just one unearned run the rest of the way. We're tied at 3.
For the first time this season, but he finished off the season in the World Series against the Phillies, making a great play in his backyard as a kid. Much to the dismay of Philadelphia fans as Chas McCormick took a chance, climbed the wall. We've heard about shots heard around the world. How about the catch that shook Philadelphia?
Great, unbelievable catch by Chas McCormick, and where he landed on that warning track at Citizens Bank Park, there was kind of an outline of his jersey afterward.
Left his imprint in many ways.
Yes, he did. Chaz's brother would get married this offseason, and Chas was one of the groomsmen and recreated the catch as he was introduced at the reception of the wedding.
Did his brother get married in Philadelphia?
Probably close.
I was going to say, I know they're both from there, so obviously
area.
That probably was a nice little dig.
Oh, no doubt. There's no doubt. Chazzy Fizz, one of the best. Andrew Vaughn, the batter, facing Ronel Blanco. Blanco in his second inning of work. Ronel had a 1-2-3 fifth inning, has fallen behind Vaughn 3-0 before getting that first swinging strike. It's now 3-1. So as you heard from Dana Brown, they would expect to see at least 2, probably 3 innings if Ronel can get them there, as he delivers a walk here to start the 6th inning. Vaughn on base for the first time in this game. That pitch gets away. So yes, his brother was married just outside of Philly. We're getting confirmation on that. So yes, there was probably a handful of Phillies fans in attendance to that wedding.
Special.
Scoreboard has it at 0-1, but that was a wild pitch. Should be 1-0. Now Colas swings through that pitch. It's 1-1. But the wild pitch advances Andrew Vaughn over to second base with nobody out. Colas has an infield hit. He is also lined out to right. Colas made his major league debut here on Thursday. He is number 2 in the MLB pipeline of all White Sox prospects. 24-year-old who signed January of last year out of Cuba. And played some baseball in Cuba and in the minor leagues of Japan before signing with the White Sox. And Blanco evens up the count at 2 apiece. Ronel Blanco, 29-year-old. Appeared in 7 games for the Astros last year. And a swing and a miss. That is a beautiful pitch as he strikes out Colas to keep the runner right where he is at second base now with 1 out.
Slider is looking good for Ronel Blanco. 3 strikeouts since coming in, all on that slider. Bottom just dropping out of that one.
That's one where you're looking to try and pull the ball on the right side and advance the runner if you're Colas, and Blanco didn't allow him to put the ball in play. Now here's Elvis Andrus. Andrus has grounded out twice to Alex Bregman today. Blanco gets that call at the top of the zone, 1-1.
All right. So that neck portion of the zone is open.
So Andrews goes after that one.
That's exactly right, TK. As a hitter, you're saying, okay, I got to stay below this, and then you get a call up there, and you get the similar pitch in a similar spot. You have a tendency to go after it because you're trying to adjust to that strike zone.
96 low, 2-2.
He's going a little backwards. He's going with the sliders at the top of the zone, and the fastball's down in the zone.
Yes, he is. See the runner Andrew Vaughn on second base. Tie game here in the 6th inning. Little punch shot center field. McCormick will come in and make the play. Andrews retired for out number 2.
This week on Astros Bases Loaded, Christian Javier talks about his upbringing and his brand new contract. And his teammates discuss what it will be like to go back to back. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded today after the postgame show.
Well, the best offensive player in this game for the White Sox has been Sebi Zavala today. He hit a 2-run home run his last time up to give them a lead. Also has an infield hit. He has scored 2 runs. He has knocked in 2 runs. Scored just the 1 run and knocked in 2 runs, but he made it a 3-2 game. Zavala in his 4th year as a White Sox. Last year, 61 games with Chicago, 41 games with AAA Charlotte. Doesn't have to split the backup duties with Reese McGuire anymore, as he's a member of the Red Sox organization. As Zavala goes down on strikes, Reynal Blanco strikes out Zavala, gets through a runner on second, nobody out situation, and a high five from Yainer Diaz on his way.
We got 3 clues for you. Postseason hero hit his stride at All-Star break. Rapid riser. If you know who that Astro is and you want to name him, go to @ATT Sportsnet SW and tell us who you think that Astro is. And of course, we ask that you hang out for a little bit because we will reveal that Astro later in this ball game.
Bottom of the 6th inning, all tied up at 3. Astros will face a new pitcher for Chicago.
It's going to be Jimmy Lambert, right-hander. Last season appeared in 42 games, a couple of starts mixed in there. Pretty good numbers with a 3.26 and a 227 batting average against. He's already thrown a 1/3 of an inning against the Astros. Picked up a hold in that outing. Fastball, slider. He'll be in the mid-90s with that heater. Also has a curveball and a changeup.
He faced just one batter yesterday. Got Corey Julks to pop up to end the inning. Now he's got Chas McCormick, David Hensley, and Yainer Diaz due up. If it goes any further than that, he'll face Julks for a 2nd straight day. Lucas Giolito pitching 5 innings today, allowed a couple of 1st inning runs. Didn't have a lot of hard contact in that 1st inning, but gave up 4 hits and 2 runs, and then really the rest of the way only allowed 1 more hit to the Astros and 1 unearned run, as David Hensley had reached on an error and scored. Oh, good outing by Giolito, and now Jimmy Lambert takes over here in the 5th inning. Excuse me, in the 6th inning. 3-1 the count on Chas McCormick, getting his first start of the season. Chas with a single and an RBI his first time up. He's also flying out to center field. Now the count's full. Three-two pitch, down and in, ball 4, leadoff walk drawn by Chas McCormick in the 6th inning. We'll bring up David Hensley. Hensley reached on an error and scored the tying run in the 4th inning.
Could be a big inning for the Astros if these guys at the bottom of the order can work those walks, get those base hits, maybe scatter some base runners and turn this lineup over, break this game open a little bit.
We did get confirmation before the game. David Hensley will be going from Minute Maid Park straight to NRG Stadium after this game. 5:09 tip-off with his San Diego State Aztecs against Florida Atlantic University.
Good for him.
He will be representing SDSU out there. Hensley swings and misses. It's 0-2. One of the best baseball players in the history of the game, was also quite a basketball player at San Diego State.
Still the all-time assist leader for San Diego State. Oh my goodness.
Even at 6'6", Hensley thinks that pitch is too high for him, and I think he might be right. He was called out on a pitch that was pretty high in the zone for out number 1. That high strike has been there for pitchers.
It really has, hasn't it? I mean, the catcher reaching above his mask usually is a pretty good indication, if you're watching at home, if that pitch is above the zone. That face mask of the catcher usually at the top part of the zone.
Yainer Diaz, the hitter, takes a strike. Yainer last year had 1 hit and 8 at-bats for the Astros. It was an RBI double. Does not have a hit yet this season in 5 at-bats. Taking one up and in, 1-1. Yainer had a good spring, hit a couple of home runs his last 2 spring training games. Final game in Florida, had a 6 RBI game.
Two disengagements with those 2 pickoff attempts on Chas McCormick here with the 1-1 count. Yeah, that was a good jump by Chas, and normally a pitch that should be up out of the zone, but it's been called a strike. Yainer Diaz going after it, gets himself in that 1-2 count.
Yainer walked his first time up today, grounded out his second time. There goes Chas again, and this one is popped foul, and it looks like it's going to head to the crowd. It will. The Astros trying to get aggressive on the bases. Chas just 7 stolen base attempts last year, stole 4 bags.
Not a bad idea. You've already had the 2 pickoff attempts, and you're trying to stay out of that double play. At least if there is a ground ball in the infield, you get to second base and give Corey Julks an opportunity.
Inside, 2-2. Chas was not on the move on that pitch. Diaz keeps battling, fouling off pitches.
Finds a way to get the bat to the ball to foul it off and kind of spoil with some of these pitches that we've seen in some of these at-bats that Yainer Diaz has had. Just hasn't gotten one that he's been able to handle.
Not a ton of strikeouts last year at the minor league level. 79 strikeouts in 445 at-bats. He will battle, try and put the bat on the ball. There goes McCormick again, and this one's inside, and the throw is not in time. Chas McCormick with his first steal of the season, and he's now in scoring position with a 3-3 game.
Lambert finally threw a pitch far enough away from the zone to keep Diaz from swinging and allow Chas to steal that base. Good jump. You know what else too with these bigger bases, it seems like guys are able to maintain their contact after steals with some of these slides.
This one popped up, the pitcher looking at the first baseman, and Vaughn takes control and charge and puts it away for the second out. So Yainer Diaz pops out for out number 2. Julia.
Hey, catching up with Corey after last night's game, and of course getting his first major league hit. He said he had no idea what he was supposed to do when he got to first base. Kind of one of those moments that overwhelmed him. Very thrilling moment, obviously. Asked him if he had any nerves coming in too, and he said actually no. He had psyched himself already well before that, making the team, being here, opening day, all the feels well before that. So he felt pretty good going into yesterday's game.
You want to know who's a huge fan of the Astros, Corey Julks. I talked to Steve Sparks before the game. He was in the seats for the World Series.
What?
He was watching the game from the seats. He's a fan of the Astros. Now he is one.
We got to talk about that. We got to talk about that when we come back. Pitching change. Lambert will leave the game. We'll have a new pitcher when we come back. It's all tied at 3. It's Joe Kelly, the new pitcher.
He could have had a blindfold on and knew who was coming into the game by the sound of the crowd here at Minute Maid Park. But getting back to Corey Julks, growing up in Houston, going to the University of Houston, getting drafted by his hometown team, then watching them continually succeed and go to the playoffs and play in the World Series. I'm going to lay out just for a sec, let you enjoy this at home.
Crowd's keeping it up against Joe Kelly.
They are persistent. But last postseason, Corey Julks was in the seats cheering for his guys. Not yet a member of the Astros, and now he got to watching them win in the World Series and then showing up and wearing the gold uniform for the first 2 days. Must have been amazing for Corey. So I love this story, and I like the ball player.
Kelly missed with the first pitch down. And that one will go to the backstop, but it comes back quickly and not able to control Zavala. So Kelly throws one in the dirt on the second offering, and some fans are standing in appreciation of that wild pitch.
Well, we know that Joe Kelly has the stuff. Oh, there's a cross-up right there, huh?
That was not in the dirt. That'll be a pass ball on Zavala. And now a meeting at the mound. Well, for those who aren't aware, the background is with Joe Kelly throwing a pitch over the head of Alex Bregman. And then giving the pouty lip to Carlos Correa after he struck him out and was barking a little bit. And Dusty Baker's not a big fan of Joe Kelly. We know that.
Yep.
Neither are a lot of the Astros through the years. Kelly seems to pride himself in being a little bit of an instigator in that scenario, but now he's in a White Sox uniform. And he's got the go-ahead run on third base now in a 2-0 count. And a swing and a miss by Corey Julks. Julks knows the history of this team, as you said, being an Astros fan.
Joe Kelly didn't challenge him through the changeup there, 2-0.
Comes back and
doubled up on it.
Doubled up with the changeup to make it a 2-2 count. A little hesitation in that delivery, and he strikes out Julks as he throws 3 consecutive changeups after falling behind 2-0. So the Astros and the White Sox remain tied at 3.
Bullpen. We saw him go into shutdown mode last night. They were in shutdown mode all of 2022. Best in baseball with that 2.80 ERA. Dusty able to have some high leverage guys. A beautiful mix of high octane and good spin, creating swings and misses and putting up a lot of zeros to protect those starting pitchers. Ryan Stanek, one of the best, who is now our Crawford Block call to the bullpen, getting him in this ball game. Getting his first appearance of 2023. Last season was a historic year for him, setting the franchise record with a 1.15 ERA out of the bullpen, leading All-American League relievers.
He shattered the previous record, and now he'll start for the first time with his delivery to Tim Anderson. He'll come out of the bullpen and start his first outing of his 2023 season. Ryan coming off that 1.15 ERA, which was even better here at home, a 0.64 ERA inside Minute Maid Park. As the first batter he faces has been the best hitter for the White Sox all series long. And there you see the Astros bullpen single season all time 2022, and a lot more innings than those bullpens of the early 70s and mid 80s. A 2.80 ERA. This one chopped towards Bregman. This is trouble if it stays fair, and it does not. Good job by Alex letting that go.
A lot of soft contact and choppers out in front of home plate for the White Sox against these Astros. Kind of frustrating for pitching staffs. What else was interesting about that list is the limited innings for some of those teams and some of those ball clubs that we've seen in the past for the Astros, and they were all pitched in the dome.
Yep.
So what they did with the amount of innings they threw and doing it right here in Minute Maid Park are very impressive.
Yeah, if Alex touches that baseball, it's an easy infield hit for Tim Anderson, so a good decision to let it go foul. Anderson, 2 more hits today. He's now 6 for 9 on the season. And a 1-2 count here. 99 misses up. Ryan Stanek last year averaged 98.4 miles an hour with the fastball. That was the best of his career. And just staying alive. Kind of defensive swing there by Anderson. How about the lowest ERAs in a single postseason by a bullpen? Nasty Boys of 1990 with the Cincinnati Reds were lights out, and the Astros a sub-1 ERA last year. 99 misses in. The count goes full.
Guardians had a pretty good but brief run. All of those World Series teams except for the Guardians. Hundo.
Got the hundo? First hundo of the year, huh?
I like it. Been waiting.
Well, Ryan can bring the fuel. We know that. As Tim Anderson calls time. The only guy I saw take advantage of this time situation by a hitter was Hector Neris in spring training, where Hector got ready with about 15 seconds left on the pitch clock, and then he waited till about 3 before he threw the pitch. Maybe about 10 seconds in between. But he just stood there because you could do that. Max Scherzer did it a few times. If Ryan Stanek wants to get ready, Tim Anderson has to be engaged with the pitcher, alert to the pitcher by the 8-second mark. But as a pitcher, once the hitter calls time, it's now in your court. You can hold that pitch as long as you want right there out of the set. Oh, beautiful pitch.
Nice.
Tim Anderson doesn't like it, but you can't take that pitch with 2 strikes. That was either just off the plate or right on the corner. Either way, it's a called 3rd strike.
I think a couple of seams may have caught that outside corner on their MD Anderson strike zone. Maybe 1 or 2, but that is just a nasty pitch with 2 strikes. Kind of on that borderline of should I take or should I not. But not much time to think about it when it's coming in at 99.
So Stanek strikes out Anderson. And now Luis Robert grounds one to short. Jeremy Pena plays on a couple of hops, and that's out number 2. 2 outs, base is cleared. White Sox, as we mentioned, have a new manager this year. Pedro Grifol getting a chance to manage for the first time. And with Grifol not having managed at the big league level before, the White Sox hired the former Toronto Blue Jays manager and your former teammate Charlie Montoyo to be the bench coach.
I was turning double plays with Charlie back in the mid-90s. But he's one of the better baseball minds, and Grifol also one of those. That's why he's got that job. But it's nice to have that right-hand man who has experience at the upper levels.
Literally, you can see Charlie there to the right of Pedro Grifol. Grifol had managed in the minor leagues and in the Venezuelan Winter League, but had not managed since the 2014-15 Winter League. So Charlie Montoyo, a former Blue Jays manager, now in the White Sox dugout. That's a good first inning for Ryan Stanek, who was nearly untouchable here at Minute Maid Park last year. He starts out 2023 with a 1-2-3 7th against the top of the order. Oh, Jeremy Pena will lead things off here against Joe Kelly as we begin the bottom half of the 7th inning. It'll be Pena and then Alex Bregman and Yordan Alvarez. Pena has not faced Joe Kelly before. It takes 98 for a strike. And still letting Joe Kelly hear it. That ball chopped towards second base. Elvis Andrews, the former shortstop who now resides at second for the White Sox, makes that play for the first down. And here is the Joe Kelly-Alex Bregman matchup. will be a good guy for Alex to get his first hit of the season against. This is with 99 down and away.
Nobody's ever doubted the stuff from Joe Kelly. He's in the upper 90s with the fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. Just sometimes can be wild.
Last time Kelly faced Bregman was when he walked him on 4 pitches and threw the last pitch behind his head at 96 miles an hour. That was on July 28th when he was with the Dodgers. And Bregman sends one into right field, drifting back Colas, and he'll have room to put it away in front of the warning track for out number 2. Well, Alex 0 for 4 today, and that'll bring up Yordan Alvarez. Yordan's only faced Kelly once in his career. He's flied out against him. Yordan a single in 3 at-bats today. Scored a run in the first inning. "100 miles an hour."
And Joe Kelly might be ramped up also.
Might have a little extra adrenaline against this team. Yordan hit a 9th inning home run in the game on Thursday. Hit a bases clearing 7th inning double yesterday. He has done some damage late in the games of this series. He is down quickly in this count, 0-2. Hits the ball off his leg at home plate. Home plate umpire Chris Whitson calling that play dead. Stays 0-2. Recycle the timer here. It's 0-2. That ball sliced to left field. Benintendi back. He'll play it off the wall, but it hits the wall so quickly, Yordan's got no chance to advance to second. That ball got out to left field in a hurry, but Yordan on an 0-2 pitch keeps the inning going with an opposite field single.
Yeah, that was a laser hit at almost 103 miles an hour off that out-of-town scoreboard in left field. Fastball out over the plate. And again, Yordan able to time that up. It was 100 miles an hour coming in, 103 going out.
A little quick meeting on the mound. But they're not taking Joe Kelly out of the game. The manager, Pedro Grifol, went out there. Grifol having a word with Kelly before the Jose Abreu at bat. Abreu has faced his former teammate Joe Kelly from last season earlier in his career. 5 times he is 2 for 5 with a home run. Starts him off with a breaking ball for a strike. A home run by Abreu against Kelly came back in 2015 when Kelly was pitching for the Red Sox at the time. Now he is ahead of Jose 0-2.
Firm slider at 92 miles an hour.
That is very firm. So now Abreu has called time. Kelly has thrown 13 out of 16 pitches for strikes. There is a base hit into right field. Couple of 0-2 base hits by the Cuban connection, Yordan Alvarez and Jose Abreu. And now 2 runners on with 2 outs. And Pedro Grifol, who went out to talk to Kelly last inning, is at the top step of the dugout. He may think about making a pitching change here.
That is an excellent piece of hitting on a pitch that was down out of the zone, but another slider from Joe Kelly. And Abreu a very good hitter punching it the other way to beat the shift, and he's going to knock Joe Kelly out of this.
This will give the fans a chance to
endear themselves even more.
Kelly is going to be lifted from the game here with 2 on and 2 outs, and we'll let you enjoy the fans' reaction on our way out, tied at 3.
Reliant, we gave you 3 clues. Postseason hero, hit a stride at All-Star break, rapid riser. Who is that Astro? There he is, Brian Abreu. 2022 postseason was electric, not allowing a run in 11 1/3. After the All-Star break, threw a .66 ERA out there, and came from single A to the Astros in 2019. Big and very good right arm, Brian Abreu.
Abreu can relax knowing he's pitched the first 2 games and likely won't be called on today. Jose Ruiz back out there for the 2nd straight day.
Threw an inning yesterday, gave up a hit. Tucker looking to do some damage. A big hit the other day going deep. Like to do the same thing right here with 2 outs, provide some 2-out lightning. Ruiz throws hard, 97 miles an hour, changeup, curveball. Left-handed hitters are going to see that changeup. Already a couple of them far enough off the zone to get ahead 2-0.
So Tucker bats here in a tie game, bottom half of the 7th inning. Yordan Alvarez with a 0-2 hit the other way to left off the out-of-town scoreboard. Jose Abreu followed with an 0-2 hit of his own. And now it's 3-0 on Tucker with Chas McCormick waiting on deck. Ruiz has faced Tucker once. Tucker has a line drive single against him. Ruiz came in after Tucker batted against Diekman yesterday, and Tucker on a 3-0 pitch misses the changeup. Ruiz with 2 runners on as he enters the game, the responsibility of Joe Kelly. And Tucker fouls away yet another changeup, and the count goes full. Astros have stranded 6 runners through 6 innings, trying to cash in here on a 2-out rally. Tucker towards right field, and that is going to be down for a hit. In to score Yordan Alvarez, and the Astros take a 4-3 lead. Kyle Tucker drives in the go-ahead run here in the 7th.
Big swings from Tucker in the last 2 nights. This one doesn't get out of the ballpark, but does a good job of staying on a tough changeup down out of the zone, off the end of the bat. Took a lot of energy out of that pitch and would allowed it to drop right in front of Colas out there in right field. Yordan able to score easily. Abreu goes first to third. And Tucker's always a stolen base threat to get out there to second base for Chas.
As McCormick takes 96 up. Tucker 2 for 4 today now, with 2 runs batted in on singles in the 1st and now the 7th. There's a strike. Feels like this could be as good as he looked this spring, and in the World Baseball Classic, a big season for Kyle Tucker.
Remember how there was a couple of seasons early in April, Kyle Tucker was just smashing baseballs. Got absolutely nothing to show for it. High exit velos, great at bats, whatever you want to say, just did not get the numbers. Now we've seen the blast last night. Get to see the bloop today. Maybe getting off to a pretty good start here in April.
Chas trying to add to the lead, misses 96, 2-2 the count.
Good swing at it.
Yeah, Tucker should be benefiting as much as anybody in the Astros lineup for the new shift rules.
Yes.
Guy who was shifted more than anybody else in the lineup last year. 2nd straight full count, and that'll give Tucker a head start here with 2 outs in the inning. By the way, that go-ahead run charged to Joe Kelly. Swing and a foul tip. McCormick stays alive. Zavala couldn't hang on to the tip. Chaz, in his first start of the year, has an RBI single. He's also walked and stolen a base. Flied out to center field as well. And that's in on the hands. That'll be ball 4, and that'll load up the bases with Astros here in the 7th.
Here's a look at our front door expert approach. David Hensley coming to the plate. Talk about developing these hitters in the Astros organization. David Hensley, one of the prototypes, getting to learn that strike zone, trusting it. And you see the on-base percentage continually go up between Corpus, Sugar Land, and now here with the Astros. On-base percentage is a big number for David Hensley. As much as we like the swing, sometimes being able to lay off pitches puts you in good counts.
80 walks in 104 games last year at the minor league level. Takes that first one off the plate. And that one is a strike, 1-1. Astros doing all this with 2 outs and 2 strikes. Yordan Alvarez down in the count 0-2. A base hit off the out-of-town scoreboard. Jose Abreu down in the count 0-2. A base hit to right. And a pitching change. Jose Ruiz came in, fell behind Kyle Tucker 3-0. Got the count back to full. So the runners were on the move when Tucker looped a single into right. That scored Alvarez and moved Abreu to third, and then Chaz McCormick walked to set up the bases loaded for David Hensley. Hensley into right field, playable for Oscar Colas, and that'll do it for the Astros. They add a run, they strand 3. The Astros lead at 4-3.
Got a big swing in the middle part of their lineup after a couple of base hits. Tucker with a 2-strike changeup, able to loft it out into right field, scoring his big left-handed buddy easily to give the Astros a lead, 4-3.
Never more than an inning and 2/3. He gets quickly ahead of Eloy Jimenez, 0-2. Astros gave Ryan Presley the night off last night as they had Rafael Montero close the game. Hector Neris is warming up now. As that pitch misses in, it's 1-2. Stanek went an inning and 2/3 on July 6th last year against Kansas City. 4 other appearances of an inning and a third. And the rest of his outings were 1 inning or less. Counts 2-2.
Stanek, one of those guys that does a very good job on both sides of the plate, uses that split finger to right-handers and left-handers, but it has been a very effective pitch to left-handed hitters. He's also got that noise at 98 to 100 miles an hour consistently. Flow hasn't changed.
No.
Stay with it.
Yanked that pitch 3-2, so he got ahead of Jimenez and then issues a leadoff walk. Now a word from TaxAct.
TaxAct gives you everything you need to file for less.
TaxAct.
So Yoan Moncada will be the batter. Moncada has a home run today against Jose Urquidy. He also struck out twice, once against Urquidy and once against Ronel Blanco. Ryan missing on that first pitch, 1-0. First outing of the year for Stanek is a multiple inning outing as Chaz McCormick lines this up as Moncada sends one to center. That'll be out number 1.
Monday, April 3rd is Autism Awareness Night at Minute Maid Park. Experience unique pregame ceremonies, activities around the ballpark, and don't forget your Astros Autism Awareness Night hat add-on. Visit astros.com/autism awareness for more information.
So here's Andrew Vaughn. Vaughn has grounded out, struck out, and drawn a walk. And takes that first pitch for a strike. Stanek appeared in 6 spring training games, tossing an inning in every outing. This ball in the center. Back goes McCormick. He's there, has room, and puts it away. That's out number 2. Astros and White Sox have played some close games already this season. The White Sox trailed early in the opener 1-0, came from behind to take a 3-1 lead and would win the home opener 3-2 against the Astros. The first home opening loss, their first opening day loss for Houston in 11 years. And then yesterday the White Sox scored the first 3 runs. Astros came back to make it close on a Kyle Tucker 2-run home run, and then Yordan Alvarez with a 2-out bases clearing double made it 5-3 at that point. The Astros win 6-3. And today, a game that has been close throughout. The Astros taking that lead in the bottom half of the 7th inning and now trying to get the final 6 outs with their bullpen. Oscar Colas, the batter, against Ryan Stanek with a 2-0 count.
Pretty good block by Yainer Diaz with the runner at first base, not allowing him to advance.
Stanek trying to do something today he did not do it all last season, go 2 full innings. He gets a ground ball to the right side past David Hensley into right field. That'll send the runner Eloy Jimenez to third. Colas with his second hit of the game. He's now 2 for 4. And the White Sox have runners on first and third with 2 outs.
Yeah, we're all learning Oscar Colas, but Astros playing him well to pull with David Hensley towards that hole between first and second base. Kind of opened up the middle part of the field for Colas to get that base hit and extend this inning. Meeting right now at the mound is just a little bit of a breather for Ryan Stanek. Well, here comes Dusty.
Yep, this will be it for Stanek as Hector Neris is ready to go. Elvis Andrus on deck. So Stanek goes an inning and 2/3 today. In his first outing of 2023, he'll leave with runners on first and third and 2 outs.
Stone in 2023, Kyle Tucker getting a ton of votes today. 73% thinking he's going to hit 30 home runs, steal 30 bags, and already on a nice pace for Tuck. Home run, stolen base yesterday, a couple of RBIs today. Great catch. What hasn't he done already in 3 games?
Has he been interviewed by Julia? No.
Stand by.
Elvis Andrus facing the new pitcher for the Astros. Hector Neris taking over here in the 8th.
It'll be Hector's second appearance, and you'll see last season one of the leaders out of the bullpen as far as appearances with 70 total with a 3.72 ERA.
Missing in 2-0 to Elvis Andrus, taking over a first and third 2-out situation here with the Astros leading by a run. Andrus 0 for 3, a couple of ground outs and a fly out. He may have chased a pitch in on him and he fouls one at the plate, and that looks a little painful. It's 2-1.
Yeah, that got to him. Elvis dives a little bit with that swing anyways, gets to this pitch and fouls it off the inside of that left knee, which is going to take a little while to loosen up before he gets back in there, taking a nice leisurely stroll behind home plate.
Neris pitched opening day, allowed a couple of hits and had a catcher's interference in the mix, but got through a bases loaded 1-out situation with a strikeout of Andrew Vaughn and a strikeout of Eloy Jimenez. At that point, it preserved a scoreless game. The Astros would score the first run of the opener in the bottom half of that 7th inning. 2-1 the count now to Andrus. Colas last year in 117 minor league games, the runner on first stole 3 bases, was caught 4 times. it down 3-1. Just foul, and the count goes full. Harris last year appeared in his first postseason games. Was also tied for 5th in the American League when he appeared in 70 regular season games. Now appearing in his second game in this series, trying to get Elvis Andrus in a big spot here in the 8th. He got him. Hector Neris strikes out Elvis Andrus, who fires his helmet in frustration. The Astros preserve a 4-3 lead.
Pulled the string on Elvis Andrus in that 3-2 count. Sitting fastball, got the split, inning over.
In any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Houston Astros. Yainer Diaz will lead things off in this one-run game, bottom half of the 8th inning. Diaz has walked, grounded out, and popped up, getting his second start of the season as Jose Ruiz back out there for another inning of work. Ruiz pitched to 3 batters in the 7th inning, allowed the go-ahead base hit by Kyle Tucker, a run that was charged to Joe Kelly. Then he walked Chas McCormick. Got David Hensley to fly out to end the inning. Diaz down on the count 0-2. White Sox have bullpen action going. Gregory Santos loosening up. And at this point, kind of surprising, the Astros bullpen is empty. You would think Ryan Presley would start to be warming here in a 4-3 game. Maybe he will wait a batter, or perhaps he's not available because last night he didn't pitch in a 1-run game. And he's not warming as of yet. It's 2-2 to Yainer Diaz.
That might be something to keep an eye on.
He does not look like he is ready to start throwing baseballs in that bullpen. Presley pitched the first game, did not pitch yesterday in a save situation. As Yainer Diaz is clipped by that pitch, he'll be a leadoff base runner for the Astros here in the 8th. The White Sox want to review it. They've already lost their challenge, but it's late in the game, so the umpire can credit them with a review if they deem it.
Yeah, they got him.
Got him. So maybe, Blummer, as we sit here and see Presley wearing that pullover and not warming up, maybe that's why Ryan Stanek went back for a second inning of work. Maybe they're trying to combine the last 9 outs between Stanek and Neris.
It's a really good point. It might be the issue.
Because Montero and Abreu both pitched back-to-back games to start the season. But it did not appear that the closer is going to get a save opportunity today. Did not get a save opportunity yesterday, as the Astros gave that save opportunity to Rafael Montero. Maybe they'll score enough runs here in the bottom of the 8th inning where it won't be a save situation in the 9th. But if Neris stays in there, he would certainly qualify for the save, as he came into a 1st and 3rd 1-run game. Swing and a foul. It's 2-2. Corey Julks looking for his second major league hit. Had a base hit his very first major league plate appearance. Julks finished yesterday's game 1 for 4. He's 0 for 3 today. And there is his second major league hit. Pokes one into center field. And the Astros in business, 1st and 2nd, nobody out, back to the top of the order.
It's an ideal start to this bottom of the 8th inning. Hit by pitch, base hit. Julks doing a good job staying on that slider. Curveball away. Keeps the hands back, muscles it up the middle. But 2 runners on in that 8-9 position, setting up nicely for this top of the order for the Houston Astros.
Gregory Santos warming up. He has not pitched yet this season. As Jeremy Pena having a good game. He's 2 for 3. He's been on base 3 times. And that ball in the dirt, picked by Zavala. Astros have had base runners on today. They have left 9 men on through 7 innings. Trying to cash in on 2 runners on here with nobody out. And he goes after that fastball, 1-1. Into center field. Robert will line it up. Luis Robert Jr. puts it away for out number 1. Now a word from TXU Energy. Two on, 1 out. Here's Alex Bregman. Bregman 0 for 4 today, batting for the 5th time. He's got Yainer Diaz on second and Corey Julks on first, and he'll face a new pitcher as Pedro Gafal will come out of the dugout, and he'll bring in Gregory Santos for his American League debut. We'll have to wait, though, because Gafal did come out once before without making a change. He will signal to the pen, and we will have a new pitcher. Pitching change here, bottom of the 8th. Astros leading 4-3.
With the big league team, pitched 5 games in his career with the San Francisco Giants. Fastball is in the upper 90s. He'll also bring a slider with that. That'll be his best secondary pitch. Also has a changeup. Won't throw that curveball too often.
Santos makes his American League debut. Pitched in a total of 5 games with the Giants. Now a member of the Chicago White Sox. He was acquired in exchange for pitcher Cade McClure this offseason. Bregman pops one up. Right side. Colas coming in from right. Has the easiest play and makes the call on the catch, and he'll run the ball back to the infield. That's out number 2. Well, Yordan Alvarez in his final at bat of game 1 hit a home run into the second deck in right field. His final at bat of game 2, he hit a bases clearing double off the bullpen wall on left, and now this could be his final at bat of game number 3. Got 2 on. Diaz was hit by a pitch. Julks singled. They have stayed there. Now with 2 outs, Yordan takes a strike. Looking ahead to the 9th inning, it appears that Hector Neris will be out there after getting the final out of the 8th. So Neris will be out there to face the 9, 1, and 2 hitters for the White Sox. There's one up the middle. Neris will have an extra cushion to work with. In to score comes Yainer Diaz. Yordan Alvarez for the 3rd straight game, driving in a run in his final at bat.
Taking advantage of that shift not being played against him. The only person up the middle is the umpire, Bill Miller, who does not have a glove or the range to make that play.
That's a really good point, though, Blummer, because you can play as close as you want to second base without being behind the bag. And Anderson was nowhere close to the middle of the diamond, so the White Sox analytics say that Yordan's not going to hit the ball back up the middle. Apparently, as Abreu fouls one off. It's 0-1. But a lot of times guys that were shifted in the past, you'll see that middle infielder as close to the middle of the diamond as possible.
Well, we've seen it with Jeremy Pena. Tim Anderson's very similar as far as being very good athletes out there at shortstop, which they should be. And if you could put them as close to second base as you can, maybe there's an opportunity just to knock that ball down and keep the runner at third base. Here we go.
This ball up the middle. That'll be a base hit. In comes Corey Julks, and the Astros get 2 runs here with 2 outs. Again, the Cuban connection coming through Yordan and Jose Abreu.
It's good to see the 2 of them heating up, Yordan and Jose Abreu. Picking up back-to-back RBIs with 2 outs.
So all of a sudden, what could have been a 1-run lead going to the 9th is now 6-3. Yordan driving in his 5th run of the season, and Jose Abreu gets his first RBI in an Astros uniform. Should be plenty to follow. Here's Kyle Tucker. There's a strike. Tucker's had a good game. He is driven in 2 for 4. That's going to be a disengagement called by the home plate umpire, Chad Whitson. Not that he has to worry really with both runners not about to steal and not being held, so he doesn't have to worry really about his pickoff move. There's a strike. Tucker down to the count 0-2. Tuck 2 for 4, 2 RBI singles. He was retired on a great play by Luis Robert Jr., the defensive play of the game for the White Sox, catching one against the bullpen wall in right center. You could see a nice little RBI race this year with these three.
Oh, man. That would be a lot of fun.
Yordan Alvarez, Jose Abreu, and Kyle Tucker.
Yep.
Could be a good three-way race to the top. Last year, Tucker was the RBI leader. Tuck drove in 107. Alvarez drove in 97. You put this guy in front of Jose Abreu and then Kyle Tucker. Those are RBI machines back to back to back. That one grounded to the right side. Andrews will play it for the final out, but 2 big insurance runs for the Houston Astros with 2 outs. Yordan Alvarez, Jose Abreu, a couple of RBI hits, and the Astros now lead 6-3. Presented by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. And by Budweiser Zero, reminding you to always plan ahead for a safe ride home from your friends at Silver Eagle Distributors, Houston. We head to the 9th. Astros 6, White Sox 3. That was the final score yesterday. As Hector Neris, who got the last out of the 8th inning, is back out there for the 9th. He will face a pinch hitter to start the 9th inning. Yasmani Grandal will hit for Seby Zavala. Grandal started the first 2 games behind the plate for the White Sox, as he takes the first pitch from Neris off the plate for ball 1. So it makes a little more sense now. Ryan Stanek going 2 innings, almost got through the 8th inning. A little chopping single took him out of the game with 2 outs, and now Hector Neris will try and get the final 4 outs. But Dusty Baker, knowing that Brian Abreu had worked back-to-back games, as had Rafael Montero. And we'll find out afterwards why Ryan Presley is not available. But yesterday we just thought it was because Presley threw 21 pitches in game 1 and Montero threw 10 pitches. And Montero came in for the save. But today, obviously you would think your closer would be in there after pitching only in Thursday's game. 3-0 pitch is a strike, is 3-1. Oh, there you see the guys that pitched twice yesterday. They are having a leisurely Saturday afternoon in the bullpen. They both pitched Thursday and they both pitched Friday, and now it counts 3-2. So Neris, who has closed out his share of games in his big league career, will get a save opportunity today.
Plenty of opportunities with the Philadelphia Phillies in the past for Hector Neris. He had 3 last season for the Astros.
Tried to hold up, and he does. Yasmani Grandal, very patient hitter, draws an initial walk. That is not ideal leading into the top of the order. So that'll bring up Tim Anderson. Dusty, usually you get handcuffed with your bullpen towards the middle of the season, but Dusty in game 3 of the year having to play without a full deck of cards in that bullpen. So he'll extend Stanek and Neris today as Neris misses inside to Tim Anderson.
Yeah, you're just hoping that Hector Neris can find a way to grind through this inning and pick up that W.
Bregman to second for 1. Hensley the turn, not quite in time for the double play. They do get the force out on Grandal for the first out.
Well, it's a nice first out, especially with the way Tim Anderson's been swinging the bat. Plenty of speed to beat out this double play ball to the left of Alex Bregman. Does a good job of getting back, getting the big hop, and making sure that first out.
Last year, Hector Neris had just 1 game where he threw more than an inning. and he's being asked today to get 4 outs. He went an inning and a third against Minnesota on August 23rd. So Stanek went 1 2/3 innings, which matched his longest outing of last year, which he did once. And now Neris trying to go an inning and a third, which would match his longest outing of last year, which he did once as well. Luis Robert misses the first pitch. It's 0-1. Now when a pop-up, Abreu in foul territory puts it away for out number 2. Neris was screaming for the relay throw, and Tim Anderson was standing right on the bag. So Hector was just having a good time. There's out number 2.
He can be excitable and entertaining.
He was the star of most of the postseason celebrations, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
So now Neris will face Andrew Benintendi. Benintendi 1 for 4 today, 1 for 4 in his career against Hector Neris. Takes a pitch off the plate for a ball. Neris looking for career save number 88. 84 with Philadelphia, looking for his 4th with the Astros. So he's screaming at Abreu, throw me the ball, I'm ready.
Stretch it out to try and get the ball. For the normal pitcher, this is a high leverage situation for Neris. Just another good time at the ballpark.
If you can't enjoy life around Hector Neris, there is something wrong with you.
Absolutely.
He is as nice and as fun a person as you will meet on the baseball diamond. 2-1 pitch to Benintendi is fouled back. So here we go. 37,519. Looking for a second straight 6-3 win. On the ground, just past Abreu into right field. That will bring the tying run to the plate. Having to hold the runner on did not help there, as Abreu just could not quite grab that baseball as it just eluded his glove. That'll keep runners in play on first and second.
Just snuck under his glove. Going to force Hector Neris to earn this one.
Swing and a miss, 0-1. Eloy Jimenez, a couple of walks today, 0 for 2. He was a big stick for them last night. Couple of hard hit RBI doubles. Scored the first 2 runs of the game for the White Sox. Now the count's 1-1. Got in on him. And once again, the White Sox down to their final strike. A rare 3-hour-plus game in the new pitch clock era. We're looking to see if Neris can close it out here against Jimenez. Broken bat pop-up, shallow right, coming on Tucker, won't quite get there. A run's going to score. First and third now in a 6-4 game. Jimenez didn't hit it hard, but he blooped it in front of Tucker in right field to keep the game alive.
Neris made a pitch and absolutely destroyed the bat of Eloy Jimenez. But this ball popped just shallow enough. Tucker playing deep, trying to keep that ball in front of him. Didn't have a real chance to come in and try and get that. Opts to play it on a hop. Tough break for Hector Neris. Made a great pitch right there.
Now the Astros will get their bullpen going. One of the problems with trying to stretch Stanek and Neris out today as Seth Martinez warms up is both of them now in the upper 20s in pitches. Neris at 25, Stanek through 27 in his outing. So you're not sure if they would be available tomorrow after a lengthy outing early in the season, especially going multiple innings. So hopefully we don't have to worry about seeing Martinez in the game. No offense to Seth. We'd like to see Hector just go ahead and finish this one out, facing the tough Yoan Moncada, who is 5 for 13 this season. Hit a home run earlier today, and he chops a foul. A walk to start the inning, and then a couple of base hits here with 2 outs to keep the inning alive. Tying run on first base. Way up and away, 1-1. Line drive just foul down the right field line. Not sure if that stayed fair, if Jimenez would have been able to score from first, but a scary moment for the Astros.
Nothing easy when you're this many pitches into it. That ball turbo hooked foul off the bat of Moncada.
Again, the White Sox down to their final strike for the 3rd straight batter. And Benintendi had a 2-strike hit. Jimenez with a 2-strike hit, but now Neris trying to close the door on Yoan Moncada here as he'll make his 30th pitch of the outing. Swing and a miss. Astros win. Hector Neris picks up the save, throwing 30 pitches in an inning and a third, matching his longest outing of last year. And Blummer, after an opening night loss, great to see the Astros bounce back with a couple of W's.
Back-to-back wins since they've been on our broadcast, and it has been a little bit of a grind. We're only 3 games into it, and you kind of feel that grind happening. But the Astros able to swing the bats well enough just to push across enough runs. None bigger than that run that was scored, or the runs that were scored in that 8th inning for the Astros to give Neris a little bit of that cushion to finish things off.
Yordan Alvarez and Jose Abreu adding 2-out RBI hits to make the game 6-3, and they needed those runs. The Astros post-game show presented by Whataburger coming up right around the corner. Kevin Eschenfelder and Mike Stanton will be your hosts. They'll have all the highlights. Julia Morales gathering interviews. Dusty Baker will tell us about Ryan Presley. All that coming up on the Astros post-game show. Astros win it 6-4. Back with more after this.